5-4, the Marlins against the Athletics right here in West Sacramento, California at Sutter Health Park. It is a beautiful day for baseball in this series and homestand finale for the Athletics, who are taking the field behind the young left-hander Gage Jump. Jump, one of the exciting young left-handed arms in all of baseball. The American League has seen what he has been able to do in his young major league career. He will address a Miami Marlins offense that has been very successful already in this series. And here is what that young Marlins lineup will look like today. Starting with Otto Lopez, then Heriberto Hernandez. Liam Hicks bats third. Xavier Edwards bats fourth. Then Sanoja and Ruiz. Jimenez will DH and bat seventh. Marcy in center bats eighth. And Brian Navarreto makes his first appearance in this series, batting ninth.
And the left-hander on the mound this afternoon for the green and gold. That's right, you said it, Chris. A highly, highly touted southpaw. Gage Jump, 8th start of the season. And I think the numbers tell you just what kind of a start to the career for Gage Jump it has been. We have seen him flash dominance. We have seen him, I think, pitch well, even in light of not having some of his best stuff. And Gabby, that is going to be the challenge today, is because even with your best stuff, the Miami Marlins, a team that put the ball in play, they find their way on base. They have a great lineup that is able to power the baseball all around the diamond. So I'm looking forward to this matchup this afternoon.
Dallas, you talked about it too. The fun part about the Marlins lineup is what they're able to do to a pitcher too, especially early on in ball games, making them throw a bunch of pitches, right? For Gage Jump, the big thing is going to be whether he's going to be able to get those outs early on, because if not, this Marlins team, boy, they're going to make you work.
They sure do. They make it tough. They can create a lot of traffic.
Well, this Athletics defense will hope for a little bit less traffic here today in the series finale. We'll start in the outfield. It's Carlos Cortez in left, the speedy Henry Bolte in center, and Lawrence Butler in right. Max Muncy gets the start at third base. Joshua Kuroda-Grauer is at shortstop with Zach Geloff at second, and Nick Kurtz, the reigning American League Rookie of the Year, at first. Brian Serven gets the start behind the plate for Gage Jump on the mound.
There's Serve. Welcome back to the big leagues.
Gage Jump will fire home the first pitch, and it goes all the way to the backstop. 1:35 start local here in Sacramento, California, as Otto Lopez, who was named an All-Star for the first time, is leading off. Leads the National League in batting average at .341. The umpiring crew today, behind the plate, Junior Valentine. Austin Jones is at first, Rob Drake at second base, and the crew chief, Jordan Baker, is at third to complete the quartet. Lopez on a 5-game hitting streak and has really enjoyed hitting here in West Sacramento. 5 for 10 with a double, a home run, and 3 RBIs. This has been a tremendously special player, Gabby.
I mean, he's been absolutely ridiculous this year. When you start to look at the numbers, he's only been hitless in 18 of the games that he has played. And how about 38 multi-hit games so far this season? So more than double multi-hit games and hitless games this season for Otto Lopez. And when you look at that too, the 38 multi-hit games, that's the most by any Marlin in franchise history before the All-Star break.
2 balls and 2 strikes. And it's fouled away. And we know, Dallas, and we touched on it before, Gage Jump is going to have to navigate through a Marlins offense that makes contact at a steady rate.
Well, and one of the issues I think that we've seen, if you can call it an issue, with Gage Jump is the foul ball situation. Had an outing against San Francisco, 30 foul balls. Yeah, but you're talking about average 15 pitches per inning here in the big leagues. Yep. That's 2 innings worth of work in just foul balls. But he's got swing and miss stuff. I think folks that have watched the Athletics perform this season and have watched his starts, you can tell that he has the ability to generate swing and miss.
3-2 coming home from Jump. And that's hit on a line. A short hop to Kuroda-Grauer. Retreats, throws to first. That ate him up, but he was able to recover and make a nice play to first base.
Talk about hanging in there. We watched him make a great play last night over at third base. This time, 1-hop shot right to the shortstop, who's able to give just a bit of ground, more than enough arm on it to take care of Lopez, which is a good sign because that's something the Marlins have done very well during this series, is get the leadoff hitter on base.
You talk about that grower play. That's 106 miles an hour off the bat.
Touched.
The ball was smoked.
Now it's Heriberto Hernandez, first time batting in the 2-hole this year for Miami. On the year, 222, 9 home runs, 32 RBIs for the Marlins left fielder, and he's in there against a left-handed starter in Gage Jump. Marlins won 12-5 in Game 1, 7-2 last night.
What would you be my Valentine? I'm talking about Junior Valentine, Tennessee native. Career highlight was working the Speedway Classic last season, believe it or not. That was at Bristol Motor Speedway. Gentlemen, starch your engines. Very forgiving in terms of the zone, bottom of the zone. And he's been overturned on, well, just over half or just about half, 54.8% of the challenges that have come his way.
Check swing, he did not go around, 1-2. Now, Gabby, for the Marlins, 7-3 over their last 10 games. They've improved to 20-25 on the road. It seems like they have progressed very quickly on the road, as they've been really a threat at home all season long.
Yeah, I mean, they've been great at home, and the whole entire question mark was, how are they going to continue on the road? Because they started off on the road 8 for 19, right? And then all of a sudden, June comes around. They had the second best winning percentage since June, going 12-6. So all of a sudden, now they're sitting at 12-25. They're able to win this one. You know, you're only 4 games off of getting back to 500.
2-2. Hernandez drives that to deep center field. Bolte moving back as far as he can go. And that is a home run for Heriberto Hernandez. His 10th of the year. Makes it 1-0 Marlins.
I tell you what, he has been really good since coming back up from the minor leagues. Started off the season in the big leagues, went down to work on some stuff, and some of the stuff he's worked on, it's just about being aggressive. This is a fastball out of the zone, out over. But Dallas, you know, anything that's out over the plate, you let these big boys get extended, it's going to go a long, long way. Exit velo was 101.7. That ball goes 437 feet.
Yeah, threw a coin right into the well, the camera well. Wish did come true. My goodness.
Does that ever happen?
No,
To the camera well?
I'm trying to think about it right now. We've had several balls that have tried to beat down that batter's eye right around the camera well.
Did anybody get hurt in there?
Heads up in there, boys.
Question. Boy, watch out. And disappeared.
And again, only 2 homers surrendered for Gage Jump coming into this ballgame in those 7 starts. And now here, just the second batter of the game has tacked another one on.
Marlins have scored first in all 3 games this series and lead 1-0. Now it's Liam Hicks. A check swing rolling up the third base line, and Jump's going to have to put it in his pocket. Now a 16-game hitting streak for Liam Hicks. What a run he has been on.
I'll tell you what, he's been wearing out that 3-4 hole, but this is what he does too. You talk about just making contact, especially against a lefty. This is a tough lefty-lefty battle with the sweeper. Just stays on it enough. I mean, a beautiful swinging bunt down that third base line. That's a half swing.
You'll take that, as we say, grown man hit that ball.
And a grown man will take that hit all day, every day.
No doubt.
Xavier Edwards is now up. He'll take strike 1 on the inside corner. Edwards, the second baseman for Clayton McCullough's squad here today. Batting 4th, 299 on the season. Has batted 300 against lefties, 299 against righties. So a model of consistency, doesn't matter what side. He'll fly this to center field. Henry Bolte in the sunlight makes the catch, 2 down.
Well, something that has definitely been a thorn in the side of the Athletics. 137 long balls. That's the most in the big leagues. That's the 9th homer in this series. I mean, you can say all you want about the ballpark. At times you understand. And I think the Roberto Hernandez homer tells the story. 96 up out over the plate. You said it best, Gabby. You let these guys get extended, and there is power that ensues. Something you try to stay away from. And for Jump, a guy who has no problem elevating the fastball, but you still have to be able to beat guys to a spot.
And for the Marlins, too, it's what they've been doing, especially in this road trip. That was their 15th home run of the road trip, the 10-game road trip. So all of a sudden, the power is starting to come, and that is something that Clayton McCullough, is talking about with his team. It's not like we have a power team, but there are guys with power.
Sure.
Right? Like, so it's not up and down. You're going to have a lot of guys with power, but there are certain guys that, boy, you let them get extended, they're going to put the ball out of the ballpark.
Well, Dallas, Gage jump had a lot of success. 6 straight starts before allowing a home run in his big league career. Then the Dodgers came to town and hit 2 against him in the losing effort. 4 2/3, 11 hits, 5 earned runs. The 2 homers hit. Now he gives up 1 here in the first as Servin blocks a curveball in the dirt.
When you think about these past 2 outings here for Gage Jump, one against the Dodgers and now here against the Marlins, you're going to need to be able to make pitches and expand the zone. Good job there by Serve to just throw a little bicep at it, knock it down.
So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Sanoja. He'll line that into left center field. A base hit into the alley. Moving first to third is Hicks. Sanoja is going to stretch it. Throw in is close but late. And a double for Javier Sanoja. Now 2 in scoring position with 2 out as Ruiz comes up.
I'll tell you this, Javi Sanoja has been red hot. You talk about the Marlins in the road trip. He was hitting 500 coming into this ball game, so now that average is going to go up. And he's just been stinging baseballs, but not only that, I love the way that he picks them up and puts them down. Just watch him, the way that he runs to get himself into scoring position. In his thought process, as soon as he hit that ball, I got a double and I'm going for it.
Well, and to your point, it's 2 out of the box, right? Until
here he goes, and here we go. Let's put him up, put him down. I can get this one. Just a fun player to watch, always smiling too.
You just love the aggressive nature.
Yeah, and the Marlins are going to do that. I mean, they put pressure on defenses. They're going to continue always trying to get that extra 90.
The former Athletic Uri Ruiz flies it into shallow left. In comes Carlos Cortez and he makes the catch. But the Fish strike first in the first inning. A solo home run into the camera well from Heriberto Hernandez starts us off on Star Spangled Sunday. Bolte, then the reigning Rookie of the Year Nick Kurtz, Zach Geloff, and Lawrence Butler 3 and 4. Kuroda Grauer bats 5th with Cortez, Muncy, Heim, and Servin following them up.
Well, you got Yuri Perez on the mound, and boy, he is fun to watch. 6'8", 220-pound, 23-year-old. Just a big boy and an electric fastball. You're going to see it a whole ton. Throws it about 49% of the time. Just basically gets it, has a lot of vert with that fastball, so it's going to stay in the zone. It can almost look like a rise ball to you as a hitter.
And for Henry Bolte, wearing the green and gold, a team that he grew up supporting, a native of Palo Alto, California, was drafted out of Palo Alto High School a few years ago. Will lead off for Mark Kotze's club that is looking for their 2nd win on this homestand. It has been a slight struggle for the Athletics recently as a team. They've been riddled with injuries. Dallas Braden.
Yeah, I think it's just been tough to put together a lineup here as of late where you've got a handful of guys who you absolutely understand that would be key contributors to the lineup that you cannot pencil in right now. So you're without them. What's happening right now is the depth for the Athletics is being tested.
You can see there the last 9 series, the A's have not had a win here at this ballpark. In terms of a series win, I should say. First 50, 26 and 24. It seemed like they were cruising. The last 39 games, not so much, as they're 4.5 games out of a competitive American League West. Here are the injuries we were talking about. 2025 All-Star Jacob Wilson is out. Soderstrom with a hip. Luis Severino, the anchor of that rotation, is out with a shoulder injury. Rooker out for the year, as well as Gunnar Hoagland with knee injuries. Now Bolte flies it in the air to right. Ruiz moving on, and by the line, the right fielder makes the catch for the first out. The Marlins defense will stack up like this. Hernandez in left, Marcy in center, Uri Ruiz is in right with Javier Sanoja, the Gold Glover, at third base. Across the diamond, Liam Hicks is at first, Lopez and Edwards, a very good defensive middle infield at short and second, and Brian Navarreto is behind the plate for the imposing Yuri Perez. Speaking of imposing, it's Kurtz at the plate, and he'll swing on the first pitch, lift it high in the air to left. Hernandez having trouble finding it initially, and in the sunlight makes the catch for the second out. So 2 quick outs for Yuri Perez. All he needed was 7 pitches, and that might be a key to the game for the Marlins right-hander after the performance that Sandy Alcantara put on last night on the 4th of July.
Yeah, I mean, they're a pair that goes together too. They sit next to each other on the plane. They're with each other consistently, basically the little brother of Sandy. So they constantly are talking of what to do, how to go out, and how to approach the game. And I feel like for Yuri, that's really helped him out. The other thing is, too, his secondary pitches. He has that good sweeper slider. He will throw that curveball to left-handed batters. But for me, the key for him is throwing strikes. When he's in the zone throwing strikes, that's when he works his best.
0-1 to Geloff, weakly grounded to the third baseman Sanoja, who loads up, throws to first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Yuri Perez. Marlins lead 1-0 through 1 inning of play in Sacramento. Personalized highlights and push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball. Some fun in the sun on the mighty American River. Independence Day weekend. One of the many great parts of this beautiful area in Northern California. Miami leading 1-0. And on the first pitch, Leo Jimenez grounds out to the second baseman, Geloff.
Well, I tell you, with both these guys on the mound, yeah, I mean, I think you can speak to this a lot better than I can. I don't know that I'd be in a hurry to get to either of their secondary offerings. So if I get a fastball, I feel like that's probably going to be my best shot to put the barrel on it, so I can understand the aggressive nature here that we've seen between these two offenses.
Dallas, you are correct. As a hitter, you see what these guys are throwing. You're looking for one pitch. It's going to be the fastball, and if you get a good one to hit early, you better be swinging, because if the later on you get them to the at-bat, boy, it's going to get tough.
Good luck.
Jacob Marcy is 2 for 7 this series, 138 over his last 15. And he'll strike that one to left center field, a base hit. Didn't waste much time there, Gabby, as you were talking about.
We talk about it, right? Lefty, lefty, righty, lefty. It doesn't matter. You're looking for a fastball. You're looking for elevated fastball. Marcy did just that. And this is when you start to see Marcy really starting to go. When he starts to get these hits, which are line drives over the shortstop, you know that good things are starting to happen.
So Brian Navarreto has not appeared in this series, making his first start of the series. He'll swing on the first pitch and line it foul. 0 for 5 this year, 0 for 5 on the road trip. 31 years old, from Bayamon, Puerto Rico. Actually debuted in 2020, 2 games with the Fish, then waited 5 more years to get back to the big leagues, where he played 8 games with Miami and then selected on June the 21st of this year from AAA Jacksonville.
Navarreto is basically here for the defense, right? What he can do behind the plate. Does a really good job with the pitchers. Pitchers love to throw to him. Marlins are actually carrying 3 catchers, because you have Joe Mack, you have Liam Hicks, and you have Navarreto. So with those 3, all of a sudden you're able to get Joe Mack, the rookie, some time off. You probably will see him still come into this ball game. As soon as a righty comes in, he'll probably be coming out to finish this game off, because that's what they like to do. They want to put that defense in, especially if they have the lead.
He'll expand his strike zone on a changeup. That's a pitch that Gage Jump has commanded well in his young major league career, Dallas.
Well, and it's a pitch that is going to continue to be a work in progress for the left-hander, because I think he's even acknowledged as much at times where when he is able to develop a feel for that, and I always talk about the difference between throwing a pitch and pitching with a pitch. When he learns how to pitch with the changeup, I mean, that's where I think you're really going to start to see the success of this young man take off, because he's got a great feel, Gabby, for how to use the fastball, how to move it around. We always talk about trying to put you guys as hitters into that rocking chair, right? Hard in, soft away. How can I pull the string, get you out on that front foot? And if you constantly spin the baseball, well, now hitters can start to look for a certain pitch and maybe even in a certain location, understanding where the movement is going to take you. But now if you've got a guy who's dialing up 96, 97, the A's have seen him tickle 100 miles an hour here and there, but now I can pull the string on that. Buddy, look out, hitting becomes that much more difficult when you're trying to separate high velocity with a subtraction of velocity as well as movement.
And you talk about it too, the differences between a pitcher and a thrower. Right, a thrower is going to miss a lot more over the heart of the plate than a pitcher. And as a hitter, a lot of times, even though the velocity might be more, I would rather face a thrower rather than a pitcher, because against a thrower, I know that if I look over the heart of the plate, I'm going to probably get at least 2 per at-bat that I can really explode on, I can get extended on. A pitcher, you know it's tough. You know those games, it's going to be you're moving in, you're hitting all the 4 quadrants. You're going, man, this is going to be a tough day. I just need to get 1 hit today.
And that's what Navarrete will do, a base hit into the 5-6 gap and into left. And the dugout is pretty happy as well.
Hey, look, this is not a bad pitch. It's a fastball down and away at 96 miles an hour. But again, you talk about being able to at least get extended, right? And if you're getting that foot down for a fastball, even if it's 95, 96, if I can get extended to it and it's not going to bring it in on the hands, I've got a chance.
Otto Lopez grounded out to the shortstop his first time up. This season, 120 hits and 38 multi-hit games. Like you said, Gabby, the unprecedented offensive prowess from Otto Lopez hasn't been seen in quite some time.
Well, Gabby, you and I were talking about this before the ball game. 3 times all year long, Otto Lopez has gone multiple games without a hit. It's been 2, that's the max, and that's happened 3 times all year long.
Now he'll lift this in the air to left field. Cortez on the move. He's not going to get there. It will one hop over the wall. An automatic double. Now doubles the Miami total. They lead 2-0.
Well, it didn't wait long for him to be able to get another hit.
Well, it's just been machine-like work at the plate for Otto Lopez. And again, what are you taking advantage of? Well, you're taking advantage of elevation.
A changeup just left out over, and I told you early on too, what does he like to do? He likes to let that fastball get in. He'll hit that fastball to right field, and if you hang a changeup or a breaking ball, that's the pitch that he's going to pull for power, and he loves to do it. He does not mind letting that ball get deep on him.
And guys that have no problem letting that fastball travel like that, at least for me, those are some of the tougher at bats, because they're not afraid to hit the ball off the belly button, and they also do a good job of recognizing spin out of the hand. Take you back to the first inning. Alberto Hernandez into the wishing well.
I'll tell you what, those quick hands coming through the zone on that one.
Just an absolute.
That's not a home run swing.
No.
That's like nice and easy, just get barrel to baseball.
Well, this is a Marlins team, gentlemen, that entered play at .238 against left-handed pitching. That was good for 21st in Major League Baseball. They have now already added 6 hits to that total, a home run, an RBI double from Otto Lopez, and it's back to Heriberto Hernandez again.
Well, time now for StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. Got him. The anatomy of a long ball. Exit velo about 102 off the barrel. 437 feet later, heads up in the well. Just an absolute missile.
That's really cool that you see it going in there too.
In the dirt, blocked well by Brian Serven.
What do you think about the new style too, with guys on second and third and the infield being in?
You know, second base, I might be able to concede it at second base. At third base, I think the thought is, man, I'd like to be able to do everything we can to keep that runner at third. And that's where having the confidence and the trust in the guy behind the plate. And it's not to say that the individual might lack the athleticism. That's not the point. The point is the mechanics of the catching position today don't necessarily lend itself to being as athletic as an individual like Serven might be. So in lieu of being able to be agile behind the plate, we're hunting those strikes. And a great job there by Serve, not only to knock it down, but again, funnel it back towards the dish.
We've seen a couple nice blocks by Serve behind the plate.
You got a changeup that's buried, and you got to look, if you're going to change speeds and you're going to move the ball around.
By the way, that throwing arm's getting beat up. Taking one to the forearm, one to the bicep. He's going to need ice just for those two body parts.
Well, Serven's taking it all in, gentlemen. The first time in 3 years that he's put on a big league uniform.
And something really cool.
As Butler surveys for it, and it drops. It's a foul ball. The ball does have a tendency to curl back here in West Sacramento.
I will say this, though. He's very lucky that he actually did miss that one, right? Because if he would have hit that ball and it would have stayed in the air, you can start running. As soon as that ball makes contact, you can tag up and go. So if you're playing around and juggling that ball, that would have given time for basically Navarrete to get home.
And Navarrete would have been safe, no problem. I mean, it would have been as productive of an out as you could have produced.
3-2. Inside jump, loses Heriberto Hernandez. Well, this is what it's all about, Dallas. The all-star Shea Langoliers giving some words of encouragement to a veteran catcher in his own right, Brian Serven, about this ballpark coming back to the big leagues. You know, it's a lot of emotions for Brian Serven, who had a tremendous spring for the Athletics, ended up finding himself in AAA Las Vegas and doing very well. As Liam Hicks flies one to center field, this should be enough to bring home the third Marlins run as Navarrete comes home and scores. It's 3-0 Marlins early.
This is something that the Marlins have done a really nice job of. Whenever they get a guy over at third base with less than two, just getting the job done. If they get multiple runs, great, but all they're trying to do is just get that one across, right? And if you're able to do that throughout the whole entire game, throughout the innings, when you look up at the end of the ball game, that's a lot of runs.
Well, and to your point about being able to apply pressure, get them on, get them over, get them in, just do the little things that the game of baseball is asking you to do.
Everybody has asked me too, like, are the Marlins able to maintain, right, what they're doing right now since June? And my answer is always yes, because they're not doing anything that's out of the ordinary.
Sure.
Right? It's not like, oh, all of a sudden now the team is hitting 50 home runs and they're not going to be able to maintain that. No, what have they been doing? Getting guys on, getting guys over, getting guys in, scoring one every once in a while, have a big inning, one big swing every once in a while. But it's just that continuous pressure that they put. That's something that you can continue.
Well, not only have the Marlins been good since June 1st, they've been a juggernaut, a force in Major League Baseball. 22-8. They have not lost in consistent games very frequently since June 1st. They've been stacking up the wins. They've been taking names, and what they're doing is, like you said, Gabby, they're improving on the road, which is a welcome sight for Clayton McCullough, who has really straightened out this team and put it in a great direction in a very competitive National League East.
Yeah, I mean, what Clayton McCullough has been able to do, what Peter Bendix is able to do, right, bringing in these players. You talk about a guy like Otto Lopez. Remember, too, he was taken off waivers. Like, he was let loose by the San Francisco Giants, and they said, hey, come on over. A fun fact with that one, too, is the reason why he was put on the 40-man is because Yuri had to be put on the 60-day IL because that's when he was going through Tommy John. So you have that nice little play of who's playing today. But you're right, just what he's been able to do and everybody buying in, right? That's what the biggest thing with the Marlins have, that everybody on that bench and everybody in that clubhouse has bought in and said, hey, if we play this style of baseball, boy, we can win a lot of games. And all of a sudden, the proof is in the pudding.
1 ball and 2 strikes. It's outside.
Well, and to that point, I think understanding where the Marlins have come from just in terms of being able to forge those relationships, right? You get some new staff members in place. It's new faces and new places. It's a different crop of players. And it's how quickly are you able to come together and gel and make sure that we're all pulling on the same end of the rope? Well, it doesn't feel like it's taken them long.
Snap throw to first. Kurtz is there to apply the tag, but it's just late.
Well, I can appreciate the aggressiveness from serving behind the dish.
I mean, that's put on prior to the pitch, too. That's Nick Kurtz looking in, looking at serve and saying, hey, we might be able to put something on here. Hernandez is taking a really big secondary, talking with one another without really talking, right? Just by putting in a play, whatever it might be, flash a glove to be able to get over there.
Both runners will get a head start. And the 3-2 from Gage jump is tipped and hung on by Servin. But the Marlins score 2 more runs and lead 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the second. Don't miss an all-new America's Got Talent Tuesday on NBC and Peacock. Old Town Sacramento is very busy, especially on this weekend, and with the humid temperatures. And some shaved ice. I know, Dallas Brayton, you're a fan of some shaved ice. I know you're also a fan of the man at the plate, Lawrence Butler, in a 3-0 game where the Marlins lead. The Athletics right fielder leads off against Yuri Perez. They'll swing and foul this away. Butler, a player who is on the second year of his 7-year, $65.5 million pre-arbitration extension as one of the key core members of this young Athletics group.
Well, I think what's been nice to watch for Lawrence is the way that he has continued to work himself out of the slow start that I think we saw to the beginning of this season. And Gabby, you know as well as anybody, when you start to watch guys express patience at the plate, and they do a good job of separating balls from strikes even when they're struggling, I think that's a telltale sign of them starting to work out of that funk. And I think that's exactly what the Athletics have seen here recently from Lawrence Butler. Now, again, the numbers don't necessarily jump off the board at you, but what we have seen is barrels more consistently, but the patience has been what's impressive.
3-1, Butler fouls it back.
Well, sometimes the numbers don't tell the true story, right? Because you all of a sudden have a bad start to the season, and it takes hitters a long time to all of a sudden now fill in those numbers later on. But then you start to go and you look at the June numbers for Butler, and he's hitting .281 in June. So you're going, okay, there's numbers now, they're starting to come together, and all it takes is another good month, and now you look up and you're going, oh, he's in 250 or 260. Oh, okay, it's right there. I always talk about water reaching its level.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Sometimes it's going to be empty, and it's just kind of, you got to fill it up, and it's going to get to that certain point. Guys all of a sudden have 1 month where they hit 400, and everything kind of just levels out.
So 3 balls in, 2 strikes to the Atlanta native Butler. And he will take called strike 3 on the inside corner for out number 1. First strikeout for Yuri Perez.
Well, and that patience that we talk about with Lawrence Butler, you know, a battle like last night with Sandy and here today with Yuri going to be a test, because this is 99 dotted on the black, and with a little arm side life, that ball can start just off, just in, but it's got some great finish to it. Makes it very, very tough to pull the trigger on. Third fastest on the four-seamer amongst major league starters. I mean, you're talking on average 98 miles an hour, 98 point. Come and get it.
I mean, he could get up to triple digits whenever he wants to. But, I mean, he's learned from Sandy also, right? Sandy does kind of like the same exact thing. He doesn't really show you that whole fastball velocity. And then all of a sudden it comes to the 4th, 5th inning and you're going, wait, now he's throwing 100? It was 97 in the first 2 innings, but he just kind of, he can hold on and retain, and still 97 and 98 is pretty fast.
Yeah.
Here's Joshua Kuroda-Grauer, who checks his swing. Nobody seemed to have an answer against Sandy Alcantara last night. 100 pitches, 8 innings. Just 1 run against him, a walk and 8 strikeouts. At one point, not only did the A's think maybe Alcantara was going to finish the game, they thought he was going to finish the game with a complete game shutout, Maddox. And Kuroda Grauer strikes out on a sweeper. Perez back-to-back Ks against the Athletics hitters.
You talk about slicing and dicing. That's exactly what Sandy was doing last night. I mean, a great job of expanding the strike zone with not only the breaking ball, but as well as the fastball. And when he needed to, which was several times, he was able to dial up weak contact, some double plays. But I mean, for me, it was the lack of labor, meaning he made some very quick work of the Athletics on a consistent basis, sub double-digit innings, and that right there was the whole story for me, was just how quickly he was able to knife his way through the lineup.
Well, you talk about pitchers compared to throwers. Sandy is a pitcher.
Oh yeah.
But a power pitcher.
Yes.
At 98, he will move the ball around. He has that sinker, the changeup. He gets a lot of soft contact early, which is why he's able to go so deep into a ball game. I mean, that's 7 straight wins for him. He did 6-0 in the month of June. He's only the 3rd Marlin pitcher ever in history of the Marlins to go 6-0.
Yeah, that's dominant.
Carlos Cortez, who spent 6.5 years in the minor leagues before getting his first big league opportunity last year, midpoint of the season, is up and working count to 3-1. Has been very good for the Athletics off the bench. Had a stellar month of April where he batted .400, including a Player of the Week award at the end of April. In the absence of Brent Rooker, the first time Rooker went on the injured list this year. So 3 balls and 1 strike to the left fielder. He'll slap it back foul, 3-2.
It's funny too, because when you look at Cortez's numbers, he actually doesn't like playing here for some reason. He likes to be on the road, because you look at the home road splits, it's kind of crazy. Everybody else has better numbers at home than they do on the road, but he's the opposite. He's in 326 on the road compared to, you know, before this series started, he was hitting 213 here.
He sends a high fly ball to left center in the sunlight. Marcy makes the catch. 6 up and 6 down for Yuri Perez on Star Spangled Sunday. 3-0 Marlins. Nothing over the Athletics here on Star Spangled Sunday, presented by Ford. And we are joined with the second-year manager of the Marlins, Clayton McCullough, who has seemingly pushed all of the right buttons for a Marlins club that is red hot right now. Thank you so much for joining us. I got to ask you, what happened? Why is this team as good as they are right now?
I think we felt like we had a talented roster come into the season, and that we weren't winning games in May, and we weren't playing up to our standard, performing at a level that we were capable of, and we had some adversity hit. We had some guys get injured, and I think in some ways it was kind of a rallying time for our group to look around and you know, look, you get up off the mat and you get back in the fight, or you can have your season go another direction. So proud of how our guys continue to fight, but we feel like we have a good talented group.
Clayton, when you kind of look at the team, it all starts on the mound. I mean, yesterday you had Sandy do what he did, going 8 innings, and all of a sudden you have Yuri. He's throwing the ball extremely well. How nice is it, though, to have a guy like Yuri to be able to hang around with Sandy? Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's probably not a better role model example to follow than Sandy. The professionalism, certainly he's been at the top of his game for a long time in this league, and he understands what it takes to be consistent. And for Yuri, a young major league player that still, he's got a lot of experiences that are in front of him that he's going to have to grow from, and to have someone like Sandy, who's such a good example for him, it's hard to probably fully be able to quantify that.
One of the things we talked about with you before the ball game was, I think, really the personality of the club, and to the point that Gabby just made, when you have a guy like Sandy who can help Yuri. I think about, from the offense perspective, a young group. If you had to use a word to describe the overall personality of this team, what word do you land on?
I'd go relentless. I think I've seen this group now for a year and a half, and no matter the circumstance, the situation, these guys don't give up. They stay in the fight. So many times that we've come back late in games, we were down, and that's the thing I'm most proud of, is this group, I think, appreciates how important each day is. And They prepare properly. Our coaches do an amazing job getting them ready. But these guys come out and they play all through the game.
When you look at the offense too, I mean, what they're able to do, the battle, right, when they're at the plate. And, you know, we were talking up here, the way that they're able to make pitchers throw a bunch of pitches, right, especially early on in ball games, but not only that, to still be able to put the ball in play. What have you seen from this offense?
Yeah, it's really our offense. Pedro Guerrero, our hitting coaches, they've done a great job. And there's a lot of conversations with them on, I mean, still a number of them are still, you know, very young in their major league careers, and them understanding and feeling good. It's a team offense, and it's 1 through 9, you know, going against whoever we're facing that day. And we do have a number of guys who can, you know, make a lot of contact. And so
the batter's challenging the pitch.
Oh, we got a challenge here. I think they just are having fun playing with each other.
The pitch is a ball.
All right, Pokey.
Miami has 2 challenges remaining.
Got it.
That away. That's a big one there. That's a 3-2 from strikeout to walk. That one matters.
Oh yeah.
I want to ask you about this young team and just the organization's ability to identify talent not only within the organization but outside of the organization. You know, you got a guy like Otto Lopez, guy who just reached base, in Esteury Ruiz. Can you talk about just the conversations that you have with the front office about building and structuring such a dynamic young team that maybe have slipped through the cracks at other places? Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, Peter Bindex and our front office deserve the credit there. I think Peter is very sharp. You know, can go identify traits within individuals that we feel like maybe aren't, you know, been fully explored, and that we have a developmental staff here that can take those players and enhance those attributes they have. But we've hit on certainly some guys in a lot of different ways. Rule 5 pick Liam Hicks, the waiver claims. So
Ruiz is going to steal second base.
This guy's fast, isn't he?
Oh,
Wow.
he's a burner.
Dallas, you got a front row seat to Esteury Ruiz's AL rookie record, 67 stolen bases 3 years ago.
And Mac, I'm with you here on the read. We're showing the replay right now. That ball skipped just out of the circle, and I was holding my breath thinking, I hope he doesn't pop up and see it, because if you've ever had a dude in the big leagues that you think could steal 2 bases at once, it's this guy. And that's something that I love about what your team has been able to do, is the brand of baseball that you're playing. Put the ball in play. You're not afraid to put the game in motion as well. And I think that is something that has probably lent itself to you guys having the type of success that you've been able to generate as a group.
Yeah, we did. We talked a lot about that in spring training, and a lot of it is personnel driven. Like, we realized we had some guys who can run, but overall, like, we wanted to be a terrific base running team that was going to put pressure on people. And I understood that was going to come with some outs on the bases. Like, it's really hard to, you know, ask these guys to be aggressive and go make things happen, and then every time an out's made, you know, second guess that. So you don't want guys to play afraid of making mistakes. I think we want our guys to go play, to go make plays. And when, you know, Liam got caught with the inside move yesterday, like, those are ones where, like, we got to talk about. That should never happen. But okay, but, you know, you're trying to steal a base, you're going first to third. We have to push the envelope, we believe, to put pressure on people and make them play fast.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Jimenez. He'll take inside.
This guy's got a good arm.
He has a very good arm. I mean, it's an explosive fastball. You guys have done a really good job, though, of being able to make him throw a whole bunch of pitches, and when he makes a mistake, the ball's been going a long way. How about Hernandez with that big home run to center field?
Yeah, Burt was someone again. Uh-oh, he might have got him.
This one's tagged to left field. Cortez moving back, still going back, and the Marlins have homered again. 5-0 Miami in the 3rd inning.
Right, you said he almost got him, or he may have gotten him?
You know what, I'm still not quite, I mean, here I probably should have thought that was a homer, but I mean, at least it was high to the pull side, it had a chance.
Well, Skip, believe it or not, the 10th home run now in this series ties a franchise record.
Boy, Pokey. I mean, I do. Look, I think the other part too, guys, is we also, like, you've got to have different ways to manufacture offense, and slug is an important part of our game. I mean, the game has, you know, changed in a lot of regards. Being able to change the scoreboard with 1 swing and put up crooked numbers. But, you know, you always can't count on that, and we certainly can't, you know, in Lone Depot. It just is, it suppresses it some. So, you know, having some different ways to score runs, you know, look, it gives you a chance to have, you know, go on runs.
That was fun to see, though. Boy, the boys have been swinging the hot bat, especially on this road trip, too. I mean, that's the second home run of this ball game. They've been doing it here at a high pace. Do you see something that all of a sudden they're just getting really comfortable at the plate, especially with the long ball?
I think a lot of this coincides with Kyle Stowers getting hot, and we knew it was going to happen. But Otto, Xavier, and Liam at the top of our order really all year have been such constants. And what Stowers has now done, and Alberto comes back from AAA, and he's been a real spark. Griffin Conine getting him back in the lineup. The rookie Joe Mack, he's got 6 or 7 homers. So our lineup I feel like is much deeper now, and we'll pick some times to kind of run some matchups. And I think I love that about our group too, is that they just are ready for their moment, and it doesn't always work out, but they're ready for when their name's called.
Oh, jeez.
Oh God.
And Marcy's going to have to wear that one.
Yeah, hold on, guys. I might have to go out here.
I think,
Go ahead,
all
go
right.
ahead.
Thank you so much, Clayton McCullough, for your time. He's got a 10 to Jacob Marcy, who had to wear that on the front knee. It was a fastball. You want to make sure Marcy is okay. He has singled and scored a run. He will reach base again, but more pressing matters, making sure he can remain in this game.
He's a tough kid.
Well, he had to sew that one on.
And as he hobbles around, he will stay in the game and walk on over to first. But this is going to be a raspberry.
Oh, I mean, that's off the kneecap.
Yeah, not much flesh involved there.
No, that one's gonna hurt. I mean, he's tough just being able to just walk it off rather than taking a moment. Oh.
Well, that's one way to go about trying to slow him down on the base path.
Yowzer. Now this is when you go ahead and you steal on the first pitch.
Right? Just lulling him to sleep out there.
Well, I guess he wasn't done yet.
Guys,
Everything
sorry about
okay
that.
down there?
Yeah, Marcy's a tough guy, and so yeah, kneecap, not a great place to get popped, but I thought he might steal right there. Give him the old, give him the old
They were
deep,
just
right?
saying that. Yep.
Yeah, he's hurting.
So I want to talk about the team on the road, the way that you guys have started to perform really well on the road, especially for a team that's now playing in a division with quite a few contenders, and the Braves and the Phillies. You're going to have to play well on the road. That's driven to left. It's going to get over Cortez, and again an automatic double. So second and third. Navarreto now has a double to back up his single. And it's things like this, piecing together a game offensively where it's just been unrelenting from pitch one to the final pitch of the game. That's what it's been this series. I imagine that's what it's felt like on this road trip, where your Marlins have already secured a winning road trip.
Yeah, it is. I think some of this is contagious. And again, how much momentum is a real thing in our sport. I mean, I think, Dallas and Gabby, you guys know, sometimes you get on a roll right here, and guys just start believing. And good baseball, I think, travels home or road. And I mean, really, for the most part, early in the year, we just weren't playing that well. And we started pitching much better offensively. You've seen where we're coming along. And so I think, pitching and playing defense, that travels. And sorry, that's how we want to do here with Marcy and the knee. Probably shouldn't say this a lot.
I think you should probably look at that one.
I think we'll see it through here and not have him run with the knee. But yeah, so I think that it was funny because it wasn't long ago I'm getting asked a question about why aren't you guys good on the road, and I don't have an answer for that. I mean, I thought we're not playing good. Like we wouldn't win at home. Home or road.
Otto Lopez had to wear that on his shoulder. You have more pressing matters to attend to. Clayton McCullough, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck the rest of the way. Marlins up 5-0. And on that snap throw attempt by Servin, it must have caught a piece of the shoulder of Otto Lopez.
I'm trying to wonder what happened on that one. Was it on the throw?
Well,
maybe the follow through, Dallas?
It's the bat.
He hit the bat, and the bat hit him in the shoulder.
Yeah, I think the bat may have caught the collarbone area.
But I will say, Marcy's feeling it right now.
You saw the way he went back into the bag.
Yeah, well, not only that, it was even at first base when he went to go take his first lead, you could tell that when he was taking his secondary, he was in a lot of pain. And this is the throw. He went right off of the bat to the shoulder.
So the infield in for the Athletics, second and third with just one out.
I mean, even on the initial run, but I mean, he's very ginger right now with that knee. I mean, ball hit him in the kneecap.
Yeah,
like,
you got
that's gonna hurt.
Planting that front leg right down into the bag. Ow.
Wave and a miss on a 95-mile-per-hour four-seam fastball.
And even just specifically as you see Mason Barnett start to loosen up for the Athletics, but for Marcy coming down the line here, I mean, just as far as what you're supposed to be doing, the mechanics of taking your lead at third, you want to end up with the weight on that front knee, and that front knee happens to be the one he got drilled in.
And Clayton even said, I don't think we're gonna, go on contact. You have to see it through, right? There's a reason for that. Usually with one out, you're going on contact. You don't want to see it through. But with Marcy right now, they want to keep him in the ballgame. So what they're hoping for is that, as the longer it goes, all of a sudden that's going to loosen up the knee. The pain's going to go away. If you've been hit there before, that beginning probably one inning, boy, it's killing you. And then, it will start to loosen up. The pain will start to go away and you're fine. That's what they're hoping.
For the Marlins, they have the luxury of not having to go on contact right now, up 5 runs. That's another thing to consider, as Jump just fired in his 77th pitch. He's through 2 1/3 right now. It has not been easy for him to get hitters out today, Dallas.
Again, the foul balls. I mean, they are chipping away. On top of the balls in play that have found grass, the homers, the extra base hits. I mean, this at bat alone here for Otto Lopez. But something we saw last night from Sandy Alcantara was just the model of efficiency. Unfortunately for Gage Jump here, it has been extremely laborious.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Lopez gets it high in the air to left. Cortez going back, retreating some more. He jumps and makes the catch, banging up against the wall. Marcy will trot home and score. And a sacrifice fly for Otto Lopez, his second RBI of the game. And now the Marlins lead by a touchdown.
And again, what did they do? It's a sac fly. Runner on third with less than 2. Not trying to do anything crazy. You know what the job at hand is. You got to be able to score that run. If you get more, great. But this is all you're trying to do. Get that ball in the air. See what you're trying to be able to get another run across the board. It's exactly what they did.
The Athletics will elect to walk Heriberto Hernandez. An intentional walk has been issued as Liam Hicks comes up in the lefty-lefty matchup. He's 1 for 1 with a single and a sacrifice fly.
Well, it's something that the Marlins, if you could point out really anything about things they've struggled with, seeing left-handers coming into the ballgame, 238 as a club is what they were hitting against southpaws. It's 21st across baseball. And they had 21 homers against lefties coming into this game. They've hit 2 here against a guy who had not surrendered homers over the first, handful of starts. Now it's back-to-back games that have been multi-homer games for Gage Jump.
Now the Marlins have been better too as of late against left-handed pitching, because they started off and boy, it was rough in the beginning of the year, and it seems like they're starting to figure stuff out, right? And it goes hand in hand too with confidence.
Sure.
Right, the team's starting to win. Now you have confidence. It doesn't matter who you're facing, who you're going up against. You feel like as a team when you're winning that you can beat anybody.
Well, Mark Kotze deployed a bullpen with just 1 lefty to come out in the last 2 games, and Suarez did not get a hit against him. Now have 8 hits against Gage Jump and 32 hits overall against the Athletics in these 3 games.
Well, and specifically, think about the lower third of the lineup, right? Jimenez hitting 140 against southpaws coming into this game. Homer. Marcy, 143, not going to walk. Or not going to get drilled.
Drilled in the knee. Navarreto hadn't had a hit all season long. He only had 5 at-bats, 2 for 2 today.
where we talk about runner on third.
Yep.
How do we keep it in front? You said it, Gabby. Serving. Going to be black and blue after today's ball game.
That right arm's going to be hurting.
Liam Hicks's sacrifice fly last inning was the 100th RBI of his career. 3-1. It's a called strike, 3-2. That'll mean the runner at first, Hernandez, will get a head start to second in a 6-0 game. Three-two payoff pitch coming from Jump. And it's grounded back up the middle. Kuroda Grauer behind the second base bag, throws to first, and that will retire the side. But the Marlins score 3 runs. Leo Jimenez leaves the building for the first time this year. It's 6-0 Miami. Baseball fan seeing it all. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile is the ultimate bucket list. Enter now for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. Yes, all 30. MLB.com/journey to 30 sweeps will take you there. The Marlins have added 3 more to their total, 6-0.
That's Griffin Conine. He's just coming into the ball game. Looks like Marcy is gonna kind of be evaluated with that knee, just precautionary reasons. So bring in Griffin Conine, and Ruiz goes over to center.
Yeah, I think once you built the kind of lead you have here early in the ball game, look, nothing's over till it's over, understood, especially in this yard. But I think the sooner that the Marlins can get Marcy off that knee, the better.
You could tell he was in a lot. I mean, that's a tough kid. For him to get taken out of a ball game, it has to be something where it's a precaution. He looks like he's moving around a lot better right now. So that's really nice to see.
2-1 to Max Muncy, the A's third baseman. He turns on 1 foul. Muncy, a former first-round pick himself in 2021 draft out of Thousand Oaks High School. He shared a middle infield with his current Athletics teammate Jacob Wilson. That was coached by Pirates Hall of Famer Jack Wilson. 2-2 pitch, a fastball, strikes out Muncy, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Yuri Perez.
Well, that extended inning didn't really have much of an effect on Yuri Perez. Now, did it? It's still high octane at the top of the zone here. Very tough to catch up to for Muncy. And I mean, Yuri, he's just got that fastball exploding, not just to, but through the strike zone right now.
And what's crazy, too, is that when you look at a guy like Yuri with the strikeouts, usually you don't see a lot of pitchers where that's going to be the strikeout pitch, right? Usually it's the secondaries, the sliders. Those are the hit and miss ones. It's just, coming into this ballgame, 51 strikeouts on the fastball alone. Most of any pitch that he has. The second most, 14 with the sweeper.
You can see the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, but one feeding the other.
Jonah Heim is well traveled this season. Signed with Atlanta in the offseason, was DFA'd on May the 4th. Then the A's picked him up a few days later and has hit .235 with 7 home runs and 15 RBIs. So 7 of his 8 home runs have come here with the Green and Gold, a team that he started his big league career with back in 2020, where he played 13 games with the Athletics before moving on to the Texas Rangers in the same division, winning a World Series championship, a Gold Glove as well, and was a staple backstop for the Rangers and their efforts for a world title, which was their first in the team's history. In the absence of Brent Rooker, Jonah Heim's workload has increased exponentially, not only catching but taking over in the DH spot.
Well, it's a nice guy to be able to lean on, and I think, we watched Shea Langoliers have a conversation with Brian Serven before the game, and I think if you're a guy like Serven who's coming into this fold right now, and you have multiple sounding boards in the likes of Langoliers and Heim, you're in a pretty good spot, and I think we understood that, especially for Serven coming into spring training. Shea Langoliers, more of that quiet leader, but growing into the vocal leader that he is.
There's a wave and a miss from Heim. 4th strikeout for Perez.
Well, we talked about the fastball being a pitch that he utilizes to get strikeouts. Yeah, this is absolute filth. You got to be ready for 98 miles an hour, and then you get this slider that's coming in at 88 that just falls off the table.
Well, you can see the breakdown in the swing.
So Brian Serven making his Athletics debut today. Take inside.
There you go. You see that slider about 15% of the time, 42% whiff rate. Third best against NL starters.
On the ground on a couple of hops, the shortstop Lopez throws to first, and that will retire the side. 9 up and 9 down for Yuri Perez. 6-0 Marlins with the middle of their order coming up. Marlins in the Athletics. First, the A's manager Mark Kotsay, Josh Willingham. How about Brad Ziegler? And can't forget about the southpaw in Philadelphia now, Jesus Luzardo, who pitched for both of these teams and had a lot of success. Mark Kotsay here in the 4th inning. His Athletics are down 6-0 right now, and he has gone to the bullpen after a short start from Gage jump. Mason Barnett, the former Auburn Tiger, enters the fold for the Athletics.
Well, I'm going to be looking for the Tiger to tackle a very tough Marlins lineup, and I think Clayton McCullough using the word relentless, probably the best word to describe what we have seen this series from the Miami Marlins, not only on the pitching side of things, but this lineup just posted 8 hits, tagged the left-hander for 6 runs, 2 homers, 85 pitches over 3 innings. So that'll tell you just what kind of workload Gage Jump had to deal with.
Gabby, to zoom out on the Marlins season, this 48-42 record through 90 games is the 3rd best 90-game start for the Marlins. The best happened in the World Series championship season in 1997, where they went 53-37. Then 2023, they had a really good start at 51-39.
What it is a team that right now is just playing together, right? They're having fun with one another, and you can see it. You see it in the clubhouse. You see it in the dugout. When we're in the bus with these guys, like the way that they're talking, the way that they're interacting, it's a winning way. Like there is no, and you've probably been on teams, Dallas, where you have pockets, right?
Sure.
And all of a sudden you're in a clubhouse and you have a pocket over here, and nobody's really cohesive and together. You don't see that with this team. Everybody's on the same page. There's a reason why they're winning and playing this style of baseball.
Well, I mean, that's huge. Talk about creating culture. And again, something else that McCullough talked about is just having a group of guys.
It's ripped into right, a base hit for Edwards.
Who have enjoyed playing together, and something that I think really helps that is winning, right? If you're able to put together the kind of run that they have since June 1st, and you've got a lot of W's to show for it, it makes showing up to the ballpark that much more fun. It makes getting your work in that much more fun. You start to develop those friendly competitions, depending on your craft, whether it's round 1, round 2 of BP, the things you're trying to achieve on the mound, passing the ball to the next starter, saying, I want to see you best what I just did here, which is kind of the vibe you're getting here with what we've seen from Sandy yesterday and now Yuri this afternoon.
And the talk too, the baseball talk.
Yeah.
And you see it a lot from this team. Like guys will come in and they'll go to the guy on deck and hey, whisper stuff to him like, hey, this is what they have. And then they go in the dugout and everybody is just looking at the game. Everybody's paying attention to what's going on and they're in the moment.
Javier Sanoja has doubled in this game. He's 1 for 2. This is an interesting player, Gabby, because he's played every position on the diamond other than first base and catcher. It's his 61st game at third base. He's primarily played over there when he has played for Clayton McCullough's squad this year. But a guy that can do it all and can give guys a spell when necessary.
He's just a Swiss Army knife, and the good kind, too.
High chopper, jumping Muncy. Strong throw to second, on to first, and a 5-4-3 double play. Nice play by the young Athletics infield. Muncy to Geloff, Geloff to Kurtz. and Barnett gets his desired results.
And what makes this play happen is Max Muncy being able to come down and quickly fire over a strong throw to Geloff, who does a nice job on the pivot. But at times you'll see a guy like this leap up, have to kind of gather himself, not quite as strong as a throw. But Geloff doing a nice job on that transfer to make sure they get rid of it in time to finish off that 5-4-3, a much needed double play.
But you know what's impressive with that Muncy play too? As he was jumping up, him going as he's coming down, getting that ball. So it's not like he came down, got the ball and threw it. It was all in one motion. Once he hit, boom, that ball was coming out. And look how cool this play is here. Muncy, watch as he's jumping up, right? He goes, he's at his peak. As he's coming down, hand going in, boom, he is already making sure that he's got that grip so that's all in one motion, getting it over to second.
Now 0-2 to Uri Ruiz. A line that foul. Max Muncy has worked tirelessly at his craft at third base. By trade, a shortstop. Was the opening day starter at second base last year for the Athletics in Seattle. And then in Toronto this year won the third base starting job after a phenomenal spring offensively. But some injuries and some changes have caused him to be in there once or twice a week. Softly lined, and the shortstop Kuroda Grauer makes the catch. That will retire the side. 6-0 Miami on Star Spangled Sunday. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Minions and Monsters is the genius and totally true story about two minions who set to make a movie and unwittingly unleash monsters onto the world. See Minions and Monsters only in theaters now.
The catcher's challenging the pitch.
So Navarreto will challenge the first pitch of the bottom of the fourth inning.
The pitch is a strike.
And he is
Miami
correct.
has 2 challenges remaining.
Miami keeps both of their challenges, an 0-1 count to Henry Bolte, who's up for a second time. Yuri Perez has sat down all 9 hitters he's faced in this game. And Miami has been the monster today.
Well, Yuri has just done a fantastic job of, I think, keeping this lineup off balance. I mean, he's came right at him with fastballs. He's dialed up the swing and miss with a breaking ball when he needs to. It's been very impressive so far.
Off the plate, 2 balls and a strike. For Bolte, possesses a tremendous skill set. We saw a lot of power in the minor leagues, seeing him come up. But speed, defensive acumen, his ability to contact the baseball as well has been around 300 since he came up to the big leagues earlier this year. And he flies this out of play foul. The Athletics, though, searching for offense against Perez. They have struggled in their last 20 games here in West Sacramento, have been outscored 148-90, a 58-run swing. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes, and Bolte 1 pitch away from becoming the first Athletics base runner today.
Just trying to generate any sign of offense that you can right now against a guy who's been fantastic.
3-2, back up the middle, ranging over the second baseman. Edwards throws to first, and 1 is away.
Craving more baseball? Just tell Siri, show me today's MLB schedule.
Gabby, you and I were talking kind of during the break. Could you imagine in a short burst, especially the way that the Marlins have played here as of late, having to stare down the barrel of Sandy Alcantara, Yuri Perez, Max Meyer in a short series? That is a 3-headed monster I don't know that I want to see.
I don't, and you know what's funny is that all of a sudden, beginning of the year, Marlins coming into any series, it was kind of like, all right, you know, the Marlins, it's a team that they might give you problems. Marlins are rolling into any city right now, and teams are going like, all right, boys, you got to put your big boy pants on because this is not going to be easy. This team is playing really well. You've got guys on the mound. Not only that, guys in the bullpen that just throw absolute fuel, and it's going to be tough for hitters.
Brother, I said it the other day. I said, I don't know that I've ever remembered even thinking this, but I'm going to say it out loud right now. I don't know that you want to play the Miami Marlins anytime soon.
I really don't.
And I don't know how many times that's been said. And we were kind of going over the history of the franchise, and you know, they've won 90-plus games twice. And we know what happened in those 2 seasons. They came home with some hardware, right? Yeah. They came home with a trophy. And so I think when you're watching them trend in the direction they are, I talked about the Marlins fan base, I think being excited about the sort of consistency that you hope is starting to roll out there. Because having a winner, but having a club that is consistently putting together just the competitiveness that you're seeing, that's what's exciting.
And here's the thing, though, for the fan base, they're looking at a team that's fun to watch.
Yes.
Right? Like, it's a fun team.
Swing and a drive down the right field line. It will hook foul.
Woo. Oh, this is fun to watch.
Oh,
this
man.
guy here is fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean,
Man.
I implore fans all over, whatever city you're rolling into, if you're going to play the Athletics, try to get there early enough to watch batting practice because it is a show.
I got to call his games when he was at Wake Forest. And boy, you knew there that he had the ability to not only make it to the big leagues, that was going to be a for sure. Like, no, he's definitely going to be a big leaguer. It was like, he's going to be an MVP one day. Like, what he's able to do, the way he's able to control the zone, this guy is going to be an MVP ball player one day.
Well, he's starting the All-Star game for the American League in Philadelphia, and he fouls away another. He did not have a cheap one 2 nights ago.
Oh, hang a slider. Oh, baby. Over everything. What was that, 455?
Yeah, it was leaned on.
And that's 455 because they couldn't even see where it landed.
That was his 20th home run of the year. Both Kurtz and Langeliers have 20 home runs. They will represent the Athletics in the American League All-Star game. So a pair of Athletics starting the All-Star game for the first time since the early 90s. Marlins also have a few All-Star representatives. You have Otto Lopez, the shortstop, who is completely deserving of the honor with the way he's played, not only with the bat but with the glove as well. And then Max Meyer, who, as Dallas mentioned, has steamrolled the competition this year.
Been so fun to watch him on the mound. I'll tell you what, too, when Clayton McCullough was telling these guys that they were going to make the All-Star, he got a little choked up talking to him because it really is a family-oriented team.
Perez strikes out Nick Kurtz. 2 away.
When you see where they flash the target and you see where the pitch ends up, and this is the margin for error when you have the kind of stuff that Yuri Perez is rolling out there with. Sure, you'd love to be able to beat the big left-hander up in under the hands, but with the way that this ball just kind of explodes, and I was talking to a couple guys before the ball game.
Busted bat flare, shallow right, in comes Conine, and he will make the catch. 12 up and 12 down for Yuri Perez on Star Spangled Sunday. MLB app has you covered all season long. Get personalized highlights and push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball. Well, it's 6-0. The Marlins lead the Athletics in the top of the 5th inning. Chris Carey, Gabby Sanchez, Dallas Braden. So happy you've joined us for Star Spangled Sunday on Independence Weekend. Miami enjoying a very nice series. They have won the first 2. A 12-5 victory Friday night, a 7-2 July 4th victory last night, and now leads 6-0 on the shoulders of Yuri Perez. Leo Jimenez hits it in the air. This one's traveling back again. Cortez moving back, but this time will have room to haul it in for the first out of the 5th inning. Jimenez just missed his 2nd home run in as many at-bats.
I'll tell you what, I mean, you look at what the Marlins are doing right now. Get the ball up in the air.
Oh, there is no doubt that there is now, I think, a very obvious approach at the plate for the Fish. And to your point, yeah, but you put the ball in the air, you hit the ball hard in the air, good things can happen, which is why I think we've seen such a shift in the landscape at the plate over the years here. But I think that, again, just to give more credit to what the Marlins have been able to do, it's hard hit balls, it's balls in play with consistency, and then picking their spots when they are going to get big, because I think you touched on it. Maybe driving the ball out of the ballpark isn't a hallmark of what this offense is, but when you have guys, much like I think all big league lineups feature, you make mistakes to them, especially with count leverage, they can burn you, and that's exactly what the Marlins have done.
Griffin Conine came into the game earlier after Jacob Marcy was hit into his front right knee with a fastball. He stayed in the game for the moment, scored in the 3-run third, but then was lifted from the game after experiencing some discomfort. And the son of Mr. Marlin will continue the game for Miami.
Talk about a guy that if he touches a baseball and gets it up into the air, especially the way that the flags are blowing that we're seeing, I mean, it's blowing straight out to left.
Got to be a lot of pride for Griffin Conine to don the same uniform his father did for so many years. A ground ball to the first baseman Kurtz, covering Barnett. 3-1 on the putout to ROA. And up comes Brian Navarreto, who's 2 for 2 with a single and a double, his first 2 hits of the season for Miami. Went to high school in Jacksonville, Florida, so has spent a lot of time with the AAA club, the Jumbo Shrimp, so basically a hometown commute to that ballpark for the oxymoronic Jumbo Shrimp.
What's funny too is when you kind of look at Brian Navarreto and what he means to this team. You saw it on the first hit. What do you have? The whole entire dugout was clapping and going crazy for him. Every single guy in that dugout is rooting for him because of, just a great human being. Not only that, what he's able to do in the backstop.
Popped up a mile high in the air. Geloff will call off Kurtz and make the catch. A 1-2-3 inning for Barnett and the Athletics defense, who trail by 6 runs. Butler, Kuroda, Grauer, and Cortez up next. MLB Star Spangled Sunday presented by Ford. Every team, every game, one home. The action continues on NBC, Peacock, and NBCSN. Well, this ballpark has experienced a lot of great giveaways this year, Dallas Braden, from basically a fully equipped uniform, hat, jersey, whatever you may have, some crossbody bags, now a pool float for the summer. And the man that's been floating right along on the banks of the Sacramento River is Yuri Perez, who has sat down all 12 hitters he's faced.
That guy's about as dialed in as it gets right now.
I mean, that's got to be comfy too.
Oh yeah, nice little
Nice little armrest.
Yes.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can and will be used as a flotation device.
You guys do have some cool giveaways. You have the cowboy hat.
Cowboy hat. I mean, they've done a great job. I said you can come to the ballpark and get outfitted early for the entire season, because that guy right there wearing a Sacramento jersey, which was a giveaway, the hat, which was a giveaway. They've got Homer chains. I mean, there's no excuse not to come to the ballpark threaded up.
Lawrence Butler punched out looking in the second inning. It was the first of now 5 Yuri Perez strikeouts in this contest. He's at 57 pitches, so right where he wants to be, Dallas Braden.
Well, he's been, again, like we saw last night, a model of efficiency on the mound right now.
His 1-2 pitch is lifted to center. Comfortable enough for Ruiz. He makes the catch. 1 down. Joshua Kuroda-Grauer is enjoying his first homestand in the big leagues. Made his major league debut on June the 29th against Los Angeles. Provided a couple of hits. His first at-bat was an RBI single. And all he's done is hit since coming up from AAA Las Vegas. A .337 average with the AA and AAA teams, Midland and Las Vegas. At the point of his promotion, led the minor leagues in hits with 109. So more than earned the opportunity to become a big leaguer.
And you talk about that too. There's something cool to be said about earning the spot to the big leagues, right? And not just given a spot because maybe you need somebody to fill in. All he's done is just hit in the minor leagues. And you talked about that .323 average, 7 home runs, AA and AAA. And it was like, okay, well, let's see what you can do in the big leagues. And he's done nothing but hit.
You made an interesting point off air about the way he sets up in that batter's box. It looks slightly familiar to a player that you know well, Gabby Sanchez.
Andrew McCutchen. I mean, it looks very similar when you're looking at the style. Look at the bat rest on the shoulder, comes off of his shoulder, quick hands through the zone, just like McCutchen, especially early on in his career.
See,
and the dreadlocks.
Well, yeah, and I can see the setup, and something I see in the swing, reminiscent of a guy that we just saw in town in Mookie Betts.
Yeah,
just the finish.
3-1. That's hit in the air to center field. Ruiz will make the catch. 2 down. Just seems like Yuri Perez is trusting his defense. Doesn't seem to faze him, even loud contact. He just turns around, gets a ball from the catcher, and almost knows it's going to be an out.
The thing with Yuri Perez, too, early on in the season, you know, Clayton McCullough talked about walking people, right? The free passes. That was one of the things that he knew that if Yuri was able to correct, boy, it was just going to really help him out. And all of a sudden, it started to happen. Then he had to go on the IL. When he came back from it, well, he's been really good, just attacking the zone, getting right after the hitters, basically saying, I've got 98 to 100. You know what? Try to hit it.
That's it. Just a challenge. Come and get it.
1 ball and no strikes to Carlos Cortez, who flew out to center his first time. And now he'll ground it to the third baseman. Rounding it is Sanoja. The throw to first in time. 16 up. Excuse me, 15 up and 15 down. Excuse me, 6-0 Miami. $6-0 Marlins in the top of the 6th. Yuri Perez moving right along against an Athletics offense. Hasn't had an answer against him yet. Top of the order for Miami, up for a 4th time. And Mason Barnett deals low and away. 1-0. It's Otto Lopez, who has 2 RBIs on this game, including an RBI double back in the 2nd inning. Justin Sterner begins to warm up in the Athletics bullpen. And Gabby, for the Marlins high contact team, you thought maybe they lost a high contact player. Maybe you weren't going to see that caliber of a player for quite some time when they dealt Luis Arias 2 years ago to the San Diego Padres. That just hasn't been the case. Now you have Lopez, Xavier Edwards, and Liam Hicks all making consistent contact with the baseball.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of lose Luis Arias, and you were able to see the way that he was, went about his business, right? Because it wasn't even the pitches in the zone of making contact. It was how he was able to expand the zone and hit the ones that were off the plate. And then all of a sudden you look at it and you have a guy like Xavier Edwards that can easily do that. Otto Lopez that is doing that.
High drive left center field. Cortez on the move. Otto Lopez has homered for the 9th time this year. $7-0 Miami.
Well, how about that too? Another multi-hit game. That's 39 multi-hit games this season for Otto Lopez. 3 straight here in Sacramento.
Well, how about that? The 11th homer in this series.
That's the most home runs ever in franchise history in a 3-game series. That sign's been used a whole bunch.
That's damage. That is damage. And the fact that it's been contact and you're seeing the flashes of power.
Yeah. I mean, it's you've been seeing it too. That's the fun part. I mean, all of a sudden June started to come, and it seems like when the heat started to rise up, so did the power in the bat.
Well, I mean, that's a guy's. He's the first guy to 100 knocks, right? I mean, you just brought up Arias, who was one of the other 2 Marlins in franchise history, be the first to 100 hits in a season. Lopez, head down, knew he got it. 3 left turns.
Hernandez sends a charge to center. Bolte going back, still going back. Heriberto Hernandez has homered for a second time. His 11th of the year. And he's been eyeing center to left center all game long, and it forces Mark Kotsay to go to the bullpen yet again.
Boy, again, I mean, if you make a mistake out over the plate, the Marlins have been making you pay all series long. He's usually a guy that's pulling homers, but he knows he doesn't have to here. He can stay on it and drive it out to center.
8-0 Miami as a new A's reliever comes into the game. (8-0) Miami after back-to-back home runs from Lopez and Hernandez. And it's Justin Sterner in the game now for the Athletics. 42nd appearance. He's been used a lot, Dallas.
Well, he has, and I think he's part of the group down there that has been asked to step in to some situations where you're just trying to keep the game as close as you can. And unfortunately, I think as of late, it has really been just a matter of trying to eat up innings. And that's what happens when you find yourself down and then down by large margins earlier in the ball game than you'd like to be. But Justin Sterner, you know, a guy who we have seen in high leverage scenarios, and he's had success in those. But when you just don't have those roles that have been defined, and really it's kind of been that way all season long, you realize you're going to be asked to step into the ball game at really different points, and that's early in the game, trying to be the bridge to the back end. That's later in the game, and maybe asked to go out there and get 3, 4, 5 outs.
Bad splinters. Hicks is going to need another piece of lumber.
Sterner, a guy cutter heavy. He's got a good slider as well. This one just catches the cup. Hicks will get a new piece of lumber.
Now the Marlins are looking for their second sweep on the road this season. Their first was June 1st through 3rd in Washington.
Yeah, that's when the streak started for the Marlins. That's when all of a sudden that June came alive, and boy, they have not been looking back ever since.
No, they have just completely ripped off the rearview mirror.
And this is an Athletics club on the other side that is looking to avoid a sweep at home. They've been swept once at home this season. That was May 25th through 27th when Seattle took all 3 games. That was also their only 1-5 homestand. They're running the risk of that happening if the result doesn't change quickly. 3-2 popped up. Moving into foul ground is Muncy. He'll make the catch. Now the Miami Marlins continue their relief efforts in supporting communities impacted by those devastating earthquakes in Venezuela. The organization, which is led by the chairman, the principal owner, and control person, Bruce Sherman, who's already committed $100,000 to a global empowerment mission in assisting with emergency response and recovery efforts. The Marlins have been active in helping out on the Earthquakes during this series against the Mariners. The fans can actually participate in donating relief supplies, purchasing special charity ticket offers, and taking part in a 50-50 raffle with proceeds benefiting relief efforts. And Gabby, I know this is near and dear to your heart. Latin community in Miami. You've played with a number of different Venezuelan players, obviously cover a number of different Venezuelan players for the Marlins. I know this means a lot to the organization.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely does, especially kind of when you look at the team. The guy who's coming up right now, Javier Sinoja, that really is the only Venezuelan player right now that the Marlins have active. A heavy heart for him, and you really saw it when it first happened. You know, he even had to take a day off because of, you know, everything that was going on, making sure that everybody that he knows was okay. Like, it was really tough, and the Marlins have done an unbelievable job of seeing that, understanding that, being along with him. But not only that, the community around the ballpark. You know, there's a lot of Hispanics, there's a lot of Venezuelans. You saw it during the World Baseball Classic when Venezuela ended up winning the whole entire thing. So I was a part of that team. You know, so they understand that, they know it, and they have done an unbelievable job of, you know, bringing everybody together and letting everybody understand, hey, this means a lot to us as an organization, and we need to do something about it.
Well, you love to see that, and I think something we touched on, unfortunately, when the tragedy first occurred, was that being away from your family in a time like that at times can be a blessing and a curse. The blessing is you're around individuals who you know have your back and are here to wrap their arms around you in the clubhouse, because it's strength and solidarity, and it's a lot of love that you're going to get when you walk into the room. Unfortunately, the curse side is you are away from your family, so you do have to kind of take stock of, you know, how things have gone, where everybody is everybody okay? And sometimes you don't like the answers to those questions, but being able to show up to the ballpark and know that you have the support of the organization, which you got to tip your cap to the Miami Marlins, because that's just exceptional work and exceptional awareness by the organization to do what they can to help contribute.
The catcher's challenging the pitch.
Brian Servin's going to use an ABS challenge here.
The pitch is a strike. The A's have 2 challenges remaining.
So from 3-0, it changes to 2-1 for Uri Ruiz. I mean, we got to experience that. The players impacted by the earthquakes here when the Dodgers came to town. You know, Miguel Rojas was dealing with a lot, getting his family back into the States when the tragic earthquake struck Venezuela. I can't imagine what goes through these players' heads while, you know, trying to perform at the highest level, all of the pressures that the game opens itself up for, and then you have your personal life that comes into it, that sometimes you got to leave behind when you take the field.
And I feel like for the Marlins, them understanding the situation, understanding that it's bigger than baseball, right? Like, it's real life, and players are going through it, just like you talked about, Dallas, and being able to understand that, and then putting a monetary, like, hey, we're getting $100,000 for those efforts, and like, we're putting our money where our mouth is, and we're making sure that we can even raise more with what we're doing in the organization. Like, it's really cool what the Miami Marlins are doing.
Yeah, it's one thing to just write the check and kind of
be done with it, but they're not.
That's the take-home message. There is really, that was just the starting point, right? That's just a jumping-off point. Hey, we are in this for the long haul.
Ruiz cracks that to left. It will hang up and bang off the base of the wall. Rounding third and coming home is Edwards. The relay throw to the plate is on target, and they got him. Edwards thinks he got in underneath the tag. And we'll see if Clayton McCullough takes a look at it. Up 8-0.
Well, it was a strong relay, and it was a strong throw by Crota Grauer. But McCullough says, yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to throw the cans on, boys, to take a look at this. Because they think Edwards, and Edwards himself thinks may have been able to get that hand in there just ahead of the tag.
Miami is challenging the out call at the plate.
Remember, you need clear and conclusive evidence to overturn. The call in the field is out.
Well, tough angle here, and I think this will be a tough angle as well, because you're just not going to be able to tell
where the hand is and where the tag is.
There you go. And see if DirtCam might give us a little bit of a peek.
No chance. I mean, I guess you can piece together if you get certain angles, but nothing in the angles that we're seeing. The only thing is, and you can't use it, of course, is a player knows
Right.
when he gets tagged to where his hand was on the plate, right? So he comes up right away and he's pointing like, no, 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 make the challenge. Maybe from this angle. I feel like the hand might have gotten in there from that last angle.
Well, and again, because where you see the tag is up on the tricep, right? And just, I think,
where the hand placement is compared to where the tag is. Like if he tagged him down below, I would say probably got him, but since he tagged him up high, this is the best angle that we're gonna see here.
so you got the hand on the plate right about now.
There.
Right on the corner, you can see the hand
and no tag
is on the
yet.
corner, and you still don't see the tag. And if we see that backside, you'll be able to see the glove hit the tricep.
I agree with that one. And you know, again, like as a player, where it is.
Yeah, Gabby, let's see if we can blow this thing up and get a bit of a closer look here. Because you see the hand right on the corner, right about here.
Yep. Just a little bit more. Give it a, there it is.
Right there.
And then the tag is up onto the tricep area.
Yeah, and if we see that, if we've got that shot of the back side, the runner coming from third, you'll see the tag hit the tricep. What you got to remember is that the ruling on the field.
After review, the call of the field stands. The runner's out. Miami will lose their challenge.
So 7-6-2 on the putout. But the Marlins score 2 more after a pair of home runs. 8-0 Miami. Bottom of the 6th inning, 8-0 Miami ahead. The Athletics offense up again. It's Max Muncy who struck out swinging against Yuri Perez back in the 3rd inning. He'll pop this back foul 0-2. Had not previously appeared in this series before starting today. Marcotte experimental with his lineups recently. A young team that has been riddled with injury. It gives the opportunity for some of these younger players to get consistent run for the green and gold. Off the plate, 1-2.
Again, the depth, right? That's what you're getting a look at. That's what's being tested. And so it's really a double-edged sword. It's one thing to have an opportunity to get a look at the depth and how that can play out. It's another thing to be sort of forcing that opportunity by way of necessity.
And Yuri Perez has been stellar today.
Well, Yuri Perez has been fantastic, and something we talked to McCullough about again before the ball game today was understanding that the Marlins, being a forward-thinking organization, are employing a different approach really than any other team in baseball. And we're talking about the communication from the dugout to the pitcher, to the catcher, to the battery really, and it's the pitch calling that's coming from the dugout. And really, what I found interesting,
Jeez.
man.
Junior Valentine had to wear that one. He says he's okay, but immediately out is the trainer for the Athletics, Jeff Collins.
Well, Hernandez, who's hit a couple oh man. I mean,
I think he was saying, you hit me in the chest.
Yeah.
Still not fun. Oh, jeez.
Well, because I mean, that is a direct shot.
Well, he's almost smiling after he gets hit. He looks okay. The hope is that he can continue behind the plate. He's had a nice day. There has been a lot of balls put in play for Miami's offense.
Well, that'll get your attention.
That will wake you up if you want to wake. Jeez.
Again, he just didn't have the benefit of any sort of deflection.
No.
It was just.
He's smiling though. He got the throat protector back on there pretty quick too.
Yeah. Reassembly.
Perez's 2-2 pitch. Muncy spoils it foul.
But something I found interesting just about the concept behind having the pitch calling coming from the dugout, I think in a day and age where there has been a ton of responsibility placed on the catching position, and understanding that with new mechanics and pitch framing prioritization.
Check swing, yes, he did go around. Yuri Perez, another strikeout, make that 6.
Just absolute filth. Slider that, I mean, really out of the hand, borderline strike, but then not only the depth with the horizontal movement as well. I mean, it's a great combination. That's a pitch with what we call some serious tilt on it. Just whoop, whoop.
And here's the thing too, the fastball is opening up the swing and miss for those pitches, because you got to be ready for it.
Well, that's you're geared up 98, 99, right? And you better be on time. And if you're not, well, you're going to get your doors blown off. And if you find yourself looking for anything other than, you're going to get fooled. You're just going to get hosed. But with the catchers having so much responsibility today, you think about taking some of that pressure off in terms of game preparation. And it's not that they aren't prepared for the opposition and for the hitters, but now almost being able to free them up to focus a little more and concentrate a little more on different areas of their game as a complete and total player.
On the ground to first, moving over Hicks. He'll take it himself. 2 are down.
MLB and T-Mobile offer you a chance to win trips to all 30 stadiums. The views, the food, the vibe. Begin your journey to 30. Enter now.
The Marlins have been really good on the mound in this series. The relief hasn't needed to do much work. Across the 3 games, they've covered 6 2/3 innings, only allowed 1 run out of the bullpen. Servant swings and misses on 98, 1-1.
Well, critical moment for Servant when he was told he was coming to the big leagues. The communication came from Tim Esme, who is the minor league field coordinator down in Arizona, who was his former coach at Arizona State. So imagine spending time with your college coach, right? He sees you on your way to pro ball, and then you circle all the way back around. And with Fran Reardon, AAA manager for the Aviators, on his vacation, it was Tim Esme filling in, who says, "Hey, Serve, come on in, I want to talk to you." Guess what, bud? You're going to the big leagues.
Yeah, that's cool.
3 balls and 1 strike. A's have not found themselves in many 3-1 counts.
And you would have to think right here, it's just going to be, here's my heater, go for it.
Perez shook a few times, and now the 3-1 pitch is a called strike. 3-2.
I mean, you would have to think, right? Like,
Come and get it.
3-2, here you go again.
I mean, it's a 99-mile-an-hour paint job down at the bottom of the zone. Servant, who's been back up in the big leagues for about 5 minutes.
He ain't going to get that call.
He's not going to get that call, and I don't know that.
You're not going to challenge that one.
Nope.
Yuri Perez will wind up the 3-2 pitch. Payoff pitch incoming from the right-hander. And it's swept back foul.
I mean, I'm not throwing anything else.
No challenge. I mean, whether you want to straighten it out with the 4-seamer like he's done, or you want to put a little life on it with a 2-seamer, the sinker, either way.
Here it is. Come get it.
That's it.
If he elevates that fastball just a little bit, too.
3-2. Struck him out with a fastball. Perez is amped up. Another 2 strikeouts in the 6th. He has sat down all 18 hitters he's faced on Star Spangled Sunday. Global Youth Initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, scan the QR code or go to playball.org and follow @playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram.
Well, I think that gives you plenty of insight as to how this ball game has gone.
First pitch on the ground. Jimenez will ground out to the shortstop Kuroda Grauer, but a great play by Kurtz to have the awareness of the runner and be able to hold the bag all at the same time.
Yeah, you want to talk about some fancy footwork, working the bag over there for the big fella. Kuroda Grauer looked like he had a tough time of getting the ball out of the glove. Once he did, it was not even a short hop, a tough hop for Kurtz, but you'll watch him kind of retreat, work the backside.
Knowing that it's going to be an in-between hop, right? And understanding you got to get to the backside of the base to make that pick. I mean, that is not an easy thing to do at first base.
Conine takes a quick 2 strikes against Hogan Harris in his 43rd appearance. A lot has been asked out of the young left-hander out of Louisiana Lafayette. 3.46 ERA. And Conine says it hit him. Mark Kotze's got his hand up. And they're going to keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, they saw something here.
Well, I mean, I think.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Yeah,
And
right
that
off.
was right on the wrist. Oh, that was not going to feel good.
Remember, Conine came into the game for Jacob Marcy, who was hit on his front right kneecap.
Yeah, you don't want to be that 8th hitter right now.
No, it's
2 hit by pitches in that spot.
Might be a cursed part of the order. There have been some really tight contests all across baseball, gentlemen, on the Star-Spangled Sunday games, exclusively on Peacock and NBC Sports Network. This has popped up. Servin surveying, and he's got it at his post. 2 away. Few one-run games. The White Sox beat the Guardians on the road 7-6. The Reds won 3-2 at home over the Orioles. The Mets in Atlanta 10-9 beat the Braves. Brewers and Diamondbacks are in a close one, 3-2. The Brewers lead in Phoenix as Harris fires high, 1 ball and no strikes. That's something to keep an eye on. Miami continuing to move up in the National League East. And a team that may not only have aspirations to make the postseason, possibly even contend in the division, because the way Atlanta is starting to falter a bit, Philadelphia and Miami taking advantage.
You kind of look at over a month ago, right before June. I mean, it seemed like the Braves had everything just locked up. And Marlins go on that run. Phillies have gone on that run as well. And now they find themselves only 5 games back. I believe they were like 14 games back entering the month of June.
The batter's challenging the pitch.
Otto Lopez, a good awareness of the strike zone, and it pays off again.
2 challenges remaining.
And what that does, Dallas, you talk about it a lot, the hitter count leverage, and for the league's best hitter in Otto Lopez, it is just another advantageous situation for the righty.
Well, and if he wants to, he can get big here. He's got a hole open on the right side.
Instead, he took now 3 balls and 2 strikes. That will put Conine in motion. That missed way too far inside. 1st and 2nd. And the right-handed power hitter, Heriberto Hernandez, is up again. He has 2 homers, 2 walks, and 2 RBIs.
Well, he could do something special here, have a 3-homer game.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be a pretty nice afternoon.
One went into the camera well, and then one just left of the camera well. These were touched.
Oh boy, you got a fastball out over, and he did not miss it. Right into the camera, heads up in there. And then this is a breaking ball. Again, almost the same exact location, and does the same exact thing with it. Doesn't try to pull it, stays over the big part of the field, and shows off the power. Cal Stowers was the last Marlins player to have a 3-home run game.
He had the afternoon off today after a really good series against the Athletics.
Yeah, you talk about hitting .667 with 3 home runs and 5 RBIs in the first 2 games.
Yep, 6 for 9. Clayton McCullough talked about it as the offense starting to blossom with the emergence, or should I say re-emergence, of Kyle Stowers.
Well, here's the thing too, you got to remember that spring training he didn't really get that many at bats, so he was still going through it early on in the season.
A wave and a miss at a looping curveball. That will end the top of the 7th inning. We go to the 7th inning stretch before Yuri Perez takes the mound again.
Podcast through 6 innings. We got 18 outs for Yuri Perez, and this is how it's happened. This guy right here, that one, this thing, Gabby, you into that? That's a whole lot of work with the heater. Big fan of what Yuri Perez has been able to do this afternoon, and I think specifically so, you and I have gone back and forth on it. The way he has utilized, established, force-fed, and pitched off the fastball today has been exceptional. And I mean, you walking around with 99, 100-mile-an-hour heaters, because he's got 2 of them. I've said this before, Gabby. You give me 99, 100 miles an hour, I'm probably in jail, because I'm throwing things at people, just walking around town, hucking stuff. But I mean, to be serious, we saw it, right? The margin for error just becomes that much greater when you have this kind of stuff. But I think we're watching a guy who is absolutely on his way to being a pitcher, a power pitcher, as Bolte down on strikes. Why? Well, because you see some heaters, and then you spin one of those things that is just tough to stay back on, because it's got to be go time. You got to be ready for the heater.
And the thing is too is that the sweeper's not your typical sweeper. It's got rise to it, so it's almost like a vertical induced sweeper, just like his fastball. So that's the thing that people don't realize. Like, oh, there are other guys who throw fastballs 97, 98, 99. The problem is that he has that vertical induce of like 18 to 21 inches, which you don't see with guys who are throwing that hard.
No, I mean, but that pitch specifically, right? I mean, there's going to be some tilt to it. That one feels like, to your point, like an upshoot sweeper.
That's a big out for Perez. He gets Kurtz to roll over, 2 away, and up comes Geloff. Zach Geloff 0 for 2, a ground out and a fly out. Geloff in his 2nd game back since coming off of the IL. He was injured on June the 23rd in San Francisco in the 2nd inning as Matt Chapman stepped on his right throwing hand. He'll take strike 1. At that point, he was on a 24-game hitting streak. And unfortunately, exiting the game in the 2nd inning, he could not continue, and that snapped the league high hitting streak. Who knows how long Geloff could have taken it.
That was ugly too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I said this, Gabby, Chapman's reaction kind of told the whole story about it. I mean, he knew, and he even said as much. You know, I acknowledge just how great of a run that Geloff has been on, and the last thing I wanted to do was be responsible for him coming out of the game, him enduring any sort of lengthy time on the injured list. Sent him over a very nice "I'm sorry" gift. But I think it was really nice to see Geloff be able to come back and start to put the bat on the ball again, kind of picking up where he left off. But I thought it was going to be a lot worse than what it ended up being, fortunately enough.
Yuri Perez is going to go to the rosin bag here. 2-1 to Geloff. Weekly grounded up the first base side. Hicks will cover it, step on the bag. 21 up and 21 down for Yuri Perez. We move to the 8th for Star Spangled Sunday, presented by Ford on Peacock.
Well, the Marlins have been showing off the power. And Heriberto Hernandez, yeah, he has 2 of them. Leo Jimenez, he wanted to join the party. Clayton McCullough, he loved that one. Otto Lopez, boy, all he's been doing is just hitting balls really, really hard. 4 home runs today, 12 in this series. That's the most home runs ever for the Marlins in a 3-game series.
Yeah, fair to say they have been torching the baseball.
And is Medina having some issues with the mound? It looks like it. Not certain of Yuri Perez's future in this game. It looks like he's getting a lot of hugs. There's his manager. 92 pitches, 7 innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, and 8 strikeouts.
Remember, too, he's also coming off the IL. He only pitched 1 game in the minor leagues. He came back up. They basically said, we would rather you throw 60 pitches in the big leagues than in the minor leagues. So this is only his 3rd game back. So there's a reason why at 92 they said, hey, you know what? This is going to be it. They're going to protect the young right-hander. You don't want to see it. I know you don't. You want him to be back out there, especially with the perfect game going. But with the Marlins, they care a lot about this young man. They want him to stay healthy for the whole entire season, and that's why probably that change is going to be made.
And I totally understand it. Do you think I agree with it?
No, of course you
absolutely
don't.
not. Do I want to see him go out there and continue to dazzle? I do. I think everybody understands what he had rolling, and I think to that point, it's so nice to see him be able to bounce back the way he has from the injury and understanding, look, I want to be able to help the ball club in any way I can. And if that means me being able to come back as quickly as I have and be as productive as I've been, then you'll take that every day, twice on this Sunday, right? Because to dial up what he's dialed up this afternoon has been about as impressive as it gets.
Dallas, you have some familiarity in situations like this. Let's turn the clocks back. The year of 2010, the final out of what was one of baseball's great days. Dallas Braden, a perfect game.
Well, and look, I can tell you right now, Yuri Perez is going to have a lengthy, very successful career based on what we have already seen from this fella. And it was one good day of work for me, as I say, and there's going to be plenty of those types of days, I think, for Yuri Perez ahead of him. And I think that's what's nice for Marlins fans, is you take a look at how he's gone about his business. It has been so fun to watch because it's him moving the baseball around. We talked about him just force-feeding fastballs and being able to not only put you away with the heater, but set you up with that fastball and expand the zone, not only with that, but the secondary portion of his arsenal. And when you see a young guy really start to develop and harness the pitching aspect of what he's doing, that's the take-home message for me. He's not just chucking baseballs up there. He's not a thrower.
And that's where I feel like he's starting to learn, right? When he first came up, it's more of a thrower, right?
Sure.
Like, I'm going to just rip it, here we go. Being with Sandy,
yes,
learning from him about being a pitcher, hitting your spots, moving that ball around to the 4 different quadrants. And not only that, you got 100 to boot with it in the right hand.
Come on.
Whew.
It was really cool watching you throughout the game, Dallas, just almost like you were feeling every pitch because you have experienced what it's like to throw a perfect game. And for Yuri Perez, the day is done as Hicks strokes it into right. A sliding attempt from Butler. He won't be able to corral that one. Another hit for Liam Hicks, his 2nd of the game.
Well, this is a sinking liner off the bat of Hicks, and unfortunately just off the pinky portion of that glove for Lawrence Butler. after some housekeeping, Medina a bit more comfortable with that landing spot out there. See if he can't try to keep the fish off the board.
Edwards has a 2-hit performance as well today, 2 for 4 with a pair of singles. This is another guy that I don't want to say flies under the radar, Gabby, but a player with Otto Lopez who's an all-star. You have Liam Hicks who's having a phenomenal season, but Edwards going toe-to-toe with the rest of them.
There's nothing to be said that he couldn't have been an all-star himself with the numbers that he has put up this season, what he's been able to do, being a switch hitter from both sides, what he does at second base himself. Like, he was another guy that was in the talks of, man, this guy could be an all-star. And then you go to the bullpen, a guy like Anthony Bender could be in. Like, there's a lot of guys when you start to look at this team to go, man, they're putting up these type of numbers. Jeez.
And what I said at the beginning of the series was these all-star rosters are not quite finalized, right? We understand who's been voted in and whatnot, but there's going to be some changes. Guys are going to eventually end up pulling out. And not that you like to see that from a fan perspective, but you can understand it, I think, from our perspective, knowing how important rest and recovery and recuperation can be to guys, especially if you find yourself on a club that is making a push into the postseason. So I think there's still room and there's still time for guys who might not have received their initial acknowledgement to get just that.
3-1 is away, a walk from Medina. So first and second, nobody out. Marlins have done pretty much everything right from the start of this series till where we are now. They've hit the ball with contact. They've hit the ball with a tremendous amount of power. They've gotten on base. They've taken their walks. They have struck out at a minimum. Played good defense. And of course, the pitching has been something to marvel at. For Yuri Perez to follow up, who has been his mentor in Sandy Alcantara, who delivered 8 innings of 1-run ball with a walk and 8 strikeouts. It's surprising to think that Yuri will actually have gone a shorter amount of time than him. A line drive to Kuroda Grauer on to second, and a 6-4 double play off the line out. Medina gets some help with his defense behind him, and 2 are now away.
Yeah, it's just a little too far off second base there.
It seemed like he went and got a bigger secondary. He tried to get back, but he didn't go back right away. Right? There was a stutter when he went to go back because he spun to go look at the ball. And as soon as you're going to go spin and you're not going right back out, you're going to be doubled up.
Big swing from Uri Ruiz. He misses 0-1. He's put the ball in play 3 out of 4 times. He is 1 for 3. Now it's 0-2.
I'll tell you this, for the Marlins, especially, you know, going back home, have an off day tomorrow, and all of a sudden you have a 6th game right before the All-Star break. Boy, I guarantee you that they would love to see that stadium get filled up because of how they've been playing, especially on the road, especially since June, winning all these games. The fans need to go out there and watch this team play and have some fun because, boy, it is a really exciting team. Especially how good they're playing at home, too. 28-17.
Ruiz now gets hit, and the inning will extend further for Leo Jimenez.
Let's see where this catches Esty. Yeah, right on that back arm, backhand area, I think.
Yep. It was like the same spot where Griffin Conine got hit.
Yeah.
We were talking to Clayton McCullough. One of the players that came to mind for me when I asked about identifying players is this guy, Leo Jimenez. Was traded to Miami at the end of March after not making Toronto's opening day roster. John Schneider elected to go with Davis Schneider, and Jimenez was without a major league job. Next thing you know, the Marlins pick up the phone and say, hey, we want him. And now he's been able to serve a role for a Marlins team that has had more success this year than Toronto, which I think caught a lot of people by surprise. As you see a dirt cam, nice stop by Servin.
He's been really good behind the plate. And he really soft hands. And then blocking ability, too, of keeping the ball right in front of him.
He's been tested.
So 1 ball and no strikes to Jimenez. Now in the dirt, there's another block. 2 balls and no strikes.
Body up.
Especially too with the knee being down, you know, to try to steal those strikes and the way that the new catching style. It's not easy to try to turn your body with that knee down and keep it right in front.
Well, I mean, you've got one leg to kick out with, right?
Right.
You see Medina kind of shaking his head, I know, disappointed right now, having a tough time pinning that strike zone down.
That's inside, a 4-pitch walk, bases loaded. Well, Dallas, it's been a struggle for the Athletics. There's no way around it. If the Marlins are able to score 1 more run, then the Athletics, in 7 of their last 10 games here at this ballpark, opponents will have scored 9 runs or more in 7 of their last 10.
Yeah, it's a tough way to win ball games. Trying to cover at least a 9-run gap like that, that is, man. And again, I understand the ballpark, but yeah, to an extent, you have to move on from that, I think, and realize the other team is able to post runs. I think it's just been one of those things where when you're not healthy, and I think you have guys in the lineup who are trying to shoulder a lot of the burden, sometimes you find yourself pressing unnecessarily so.
And there is something to be said about the thought process of, man, we don't like pitching here, right? And then that is going in through everybody's head as they're coming out. Where visiting club, it's just like, we only have 3 games here, right?
It.
Get in, get out, we're done, and we move on.
Medina having trouble finding the strike zone this inning. Already 2 walks, and Conine is ahead at 2 balls and no strikes. Hicks at third, Ruiz at second, Jimenez at first, where the Marlins lead 8-0. 8 runs off of 14 hits. And that'll go for strike number 1 at the bottom of the zone. Well, the Athletics, after the conclusion of this game, will fly east to face the Detroit Tigers in Detroit after the off day tomorrow, and then we'll go to face the White Sox in Chicago this coming weekend. White Sox red hot, Detroit Tigers progressing a little bit more. And the 2-2. Wave and a miss. Medina's able to find the strike zone again and strikes out Conine. 8-0 Marlins. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Spangled Sunday on Peacock is presented by Ford. And Yuri Perez had himself a day on the mound for Miami. 7 perfect innings with 8 strikeouts. Miami has some history with no hitters. Look at all of those great names in Marlins franchise history. Not one of them was a perfect game. And you can hear this West Sacramento crowd very displeased with the decision to take Perez out of the game after 7 perfect innings.
And something I can thoroughly appreciate as, like, background on the bump now, trying to pick up where Yuri left off. But something I thoroughly appreciate is what we're seeing from these fans. And do I appreciate fans leaving the ball game? Well, no, not necessarily. But under these circumstances, I can understand it because they wanted to see something special.
Yeah.
Right?
And they were seeing something special with Yuri.
Well,
they're saying shame right now.
Yes.
The thing is, too, is that the fans don't realize and understand that what happened with Yuri, that he, you know, is coming back from injury, that he hasn't been going. And of course, Yuri wants to be out there.
Well, there goes the perfect game. as Lake Bacher walks the first A's hitter he sees. Well, we know the Marlins are an analytics-driven organization. I think pitch count has something to factor in with that, but to the credit of Clayton McCullough and the Marlins staff, people also don't know the Marlins call the pitches from the dugout. So it was a joint effort, not just Yuri Perez, who did have the opportunity to shake, but by and large, the decisions are made from that dugout. And that's where Yuri Perez was able to execute in this game. Right. And that is a constantly changing thing in our game, is who calls the pitches. You have the pitch calm now. Dallas, I'd love to hear your opinion on how you think that will play out for the future of pitchers and organizations in this game.
Well, it's when we were talking about it a couple innings ago.
As that's blooping, and it gets down. There goes the no-hitter. So in 2 straight batters, the perfect game ends, and then the no-hitter ends. Kuroda Grauer is the one to break it up.
Small victories. Small victories, right? On an afternoon that has unfolded the way this one has. You'll take your small victories.
Look, I mean, you can understand the fans, and you can understand the thought process of, like, what are you doing? Why are you taking him out? Again, these fans don't realize that Yuri was hurt for a long time, and they're not going to extend him and maybe get him hurt again, because they're looking for the Marlins to keep rolling and keep going, and they want him pitching in the playoffs. And that's the biggest thought process right now. Did Clayton want him out there? Of course he did.
Sure.
Absolutely Clayton wanted, but at the end of the day, they have a certain thought process of, hey, this is how many pitches, and we can't really go beyond that.
No, and I think, you know, it's a tip of the cap. Not that you want to hear it for the folks listening at home, but be true to thyself, right? And that is what the Marlins have done, and that is what the Marlins, I think, unapologetically do. And you would be able to take what you've done this season, and for them, hopefully it's getting into the postseason, and said, we did so because we were true to ourselves.
Cortez cranks that to right field. Moving back, Conine. It is off the wall. Butler's going to come home to score. Cortez into second base, and now there goes the shutout. A's on the board. Now 8-1.
Well, maybe there's something to be said for it taking 3 hitters to get rid of the perfecto, the no-no, and the shutout. Sometimes that happens all in one swing, but here it took 3 at-bats for the Athletics, which is something they just have not been able to do all afternoon, and have had a struggle doing really over this series, and that's putting an inning together.
And there's Yuri.
And the shame chants continue. Muncy takes off the weight, and it's called a strike. He's going to challenge here. I think he might have a case.
The pitch is a ball. The A's have 2 challenges remaining.
But Dallas, for the outsiders that don't watch the Athletics every day, this is an offense that can come back at any point in a game.
Sure, I mean, they've been able to post some big innings. I think on the other side of that, though, is you don't want to have to count on the 6, 7+ run inning. You'd like to be able to, you know, create some traffic consistently. And that is something that we've seen the A's be able to do. Unfortunately, just not able to push runs across consistently after getting some base runners.
One and 2 Muncy takes inside. Although the perfect game, the no-hitter, and the shutout have ended, there have been 8 perfect games. Very recently, 2-2 pitch high, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Since 2000, and Dallas Braden is part of that crew. The most recent perfect game was at the Coliseum against the Athletics' Domingo Germán. 3-2. Muncy takes off the plate. The bases are loaded now for Jonah Heim. And if you're the Marlins, Gabby Sanchez, you don't want this to snowball, especially considering how hard it is to sweep a series on the road.
Yeah, especially when you're playing in this ballpark where all of a sudden runs can get put on the board extremely quick.
And I think they think that that is Clayton McCullough, but that is not. That is pitching coach Daniel Moskos.
This is just going out there and talking with Blake Balker. The thing with Blake, too, is that he does have a lot of swing and miss, right, in his game, a lot of whip percentage. So it's basically just going out there and saying, hey, we need you to get back into the zone here, go right after these hitters.
Now, the biggest Athletics victory at home in terms of a come-from-behind victory, well, that happened against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, who were up at one point 11-4 in the bottom of the sixth. The A's scored 8 unanswered runs to win 12-11 in walk-off fashion. That was on June 19th, and it was due in part by a Jonah Heim swing to tie the game in the 9th inning and make it 11-11. He's had a flair for the dramatic since arriving with the A's. Now he drives this to right field, way back. It's a grand slam for Jonah Heim, and just like that, it's a 3-run game. It's a brand new ball game, gentlemen, and you just wonder what would have happened had Perez remained in the game.
Well, that and how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop, the world may never know. But Jonah Heim with his 4th career grand slam.
Well, instead of the A's fans celebrating the grand slam, they continue to throw shame at the Marlins dugout.
To bring up another word that McCullough used, I think relentless.
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 They're relentless.
Comes to mind. Man.
So now Servin looking for his first hit as an Athletic. Bacher having trouble here. 2 walks and 3 hits this inning. He has not recorded an out, and all 5 runs are against the right-hander in a game that has gotten interesting very fast.
Well, and this is the kind of an outing for a reliever where you can look back. I mean, he can go on a nice run of being unscathed, shutout type performances, and you'll look back at this moment and go, why do my numbers still look the way they do? And it's outings like this.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Serving 0 for 2. Now he bloops one into shallow right. In comes Conine. Out goes Edwards. It drops down. A single to follow up this grand slam, Gabby.
I tell you what, you cannot miss over the heart of the plate. That's a splitter, middle. Jonah Heim's all over it. It's 104.3 miles an hour off the bat, going 371 feet for the grand salami.
Yuri Perez not too happy with that result, and the A's fans continuing to throw shame on Clayton McCullough. Bacher's day is done. 8-5. We've got a brand new ball game in Sacramento.
Welcome back. We just saw Heim time in full effect, and it's something A's fans have been getting used to here as of late. Jonah Heim, you go back to the series in Vegas, popped a homer to keep the party going. And then we saw him against the Halos do the same. He has just stepped up and delivered in spots like that time and time again. And this one, about as good as it gets. Nowhere to put Jonah Harmon. He put a big swing on a hanging split that just got absolutely annihilated.
4th career grand slam for Jonah Heim. Bacher is out of the game without recording an out, and it is the top of the order up for a 4th time, looking at a different pitcher. And Peterson deals high. Bolte gets aboard, then you have the big swinger in Kurtz with a game-tying situation. 36th appearance for Peterson. And it's fouled away, 1-1.
Man, Clayton going right to Michael Peterson now. Seeing where the game is at. One of the higher leverage arms on this team. Best fastball in the bullpen. 3-pitch mix, fastball, slider, changeup. It's a lot of fastball. And boy, it's got some good vert to it as well.
He was the first out of the bullpen 2 games ago after Tyler Phillips gave 3 1/3 innings of starting work, where he surrendered 5 earned runs off of 7 hits. Peterson, 2/3 of an inning scoreless with no runs, no hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Now in a very uncomfortable situation for Nay's lineup that's finding life late in the game. 1-2 on the ground to short. Flip to second, on to first, and Bolte beats it out. They get 1, but only 1. They don't have any challenges remaining.
No.
So I don't think they can check this.
Well, this is where the speed of Bolte comes into play. I mean, a pretty routine, what you think would be a double play. But instead, Bolte, even from the right side, able to book it down the line. That's a hard 90 feet. And I'm sure if they had a chance to take a look at that, you might have gotten a different result. It was very close.
Yeah, it looked like they were getting there right together. I tell you what, Bolte can fly.
He can move.
Jeez.
So now it's Kurtz who takes high and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Kurtz, a native of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, will be playing and starting in the All-Star game in Philadelphia at Citizens Bank Park, a stadium he grew up going to. He's late to the party on that fastball, 1-1. But a player that has already drawn comparisons to the great Jim Thome.
Oh, I like that.
Well, Jim Thome. Yeah, I mean, I spent some time, and I've told this story, but he spent a lot of time as Bolte off to the races.
Throw down to second is a good one, and the Marlins get Bolte. Strong strike by Navarreto.
Now they want to go challenge this one. Navarreto got rid of this ball quick.
And I think that's the key to this play here. You can see Navarreto.
The Athletics are challenging the out call at second base.
You can see him pop up on his haunches and get ready to let loose. And let loose he did. I mean, that is an absolute dime. That tag.
It's close.
Right on the elbow. I think that tag probably got there just in the nick of time.
And remember, too, tie doesn't go to the runner.
No.
So it's whatever's on the field is called. So if they feel like it's bang, bang, they've got to stay with whatever was the call on the field.
Bolte ran right off the field, Dallas.
Yeah,
and
that's one of the things that they don't look at. They're not allowed to look at what the thought process was behind the player. It's what they're able to see.
But Dallas, for Mark Kotze, it's use it or lose it. This is a pivotal point in the game for the Athletics.
Well, and with the fellow at the plate right now, if you can keep a base runner on, it makes a big swing worth 2 instead of 1. We're going to get our answer here.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. The runner is out. The Athletics lose their challenge.
Yeah, Navarreto says, I like that one. Well, you could just see the way he was turning his body to get into that throwing position.
He was
real quick.
Locked and loaded. Two hits on the day for Navarreto. Throws a runner out. Brought the rake to work, brought the hose to work. The constant gardener.
2-1 to Kurtz. He takes down low, 3-1.
If you watch him, there he is, pops up.
He's already sideways turn. He's ready to go. Quick to the ear, get that ball out quickly.
And he knew it. Oh, yeah. Pumped.
Say it's 2-2 to Kurtz, and he will wave and miss. That ends the bottom of the 8th. Peterson strikes out Kurtz. He's excited. But Jonah Heim hits a grand slam and makes this game a lot closer. 8-5, Marlins going into the final frame of the game. The score is 8-5 in favor of the Marlins. Yuri Perez heads back to the clubhouse. You know, he's all smiles. He's in line for the victory. Had a perfect game through 7 innings, and then Clayton McCullough went to the bullpen. A 5-run bottom of the 8th for the A's brings this game closer. So Elvis Alvarado is out of the bullpen, and Joe Mack will pinch hit for Brian Navarreto. What a day Navarreto had. First 2 hits of the season, 2 for 4. Had a single and a run scored, then a double. Also cut down Bolte at second base in the bottom half of the 8th.
Well, and I know that, I mean, we've continued to hear the displeasure from the fans with the decision made by McCullough, but, and Gabby, you touched on it. Something that I think bears repeating, though, is understanding what Yuri means to the future of this ball club. I mean, you have a guy coming off the injured list, and I think even more specifically so, the type of injury, right? It's a lower half injury. Your gracilis, go ahead and point to that one at home. It's uncomfortable, but it's something that, I mean, I think if you say that word in a training room, you get a lot of eyeballs going, hold on, you're what? You're graciling what? And so just trying to make sure that he is in a position not only to go out and perform every 5th day, but you want to make sure that he's in a spot where he's taken care of. So I can understand, but isn't it, I mean, it's amazing how quickly the game of baseball can turn with just one decision.
And it's funny, too, because if he was pitching the whole entire year and he was in that 90-95 range or 95 to 100, different story.
Sure.
He's going to stay in there.
Sure.
But because he had that injury, you're going to take care of that young kid.
Alvarado takes care of Joe Mack with a back foot slider, 1 away.
Alvarado able to get this thing wrapped around that back foot. Now Alvarado, a guy who can dial it up there with the best of them. See what Otto Lopez has for the fireball and right-hander, because he's had an answer for just about everybody.
The longtime Ray, Pete Fairbanks, is in the bullpen. If the scoreline holds, it would be a save scenario for Fairbanks.
I tell you, this Marlins bullpen, not short on personalities.
No.
I affectionately refer to Pete Fairbanks as a wide-eyed psycho, because he's a different bird. In a good way. He's a competitor. I think he'll be very open and honest and forthright with, you know, you ask him a question, you are going to get an answer.
He's got that closer mentality.
Sure.
That's what it is. Mm-hmm. You gotta have a little something in there to be a closer in this game.
Well, Dallas kind of takes a psycho to know a psycho, doesn't it?
Which is why he threw a perfect game.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Lopez defensive swing on the ground, deep in the hole, short backhanded, Corona ground, strong throw to first, and Otto Lopez is safe. Mark Kotze's hand immediately up. No more challenges for the A's after they challenged at second base, but they can request a crew chief review. He will not here.
And they're going to keep it rolling. Grauer had to stick the foot in the ground and get rid of it quickly, but Lopez
just flies.
I mean, he does, doesn't he?
And it's so quick. Most infield hits for the Marlins. And he does just that. His body movement as he's hitting that ball is going forward. That momentum towards first base. I mean, he just gets that little extra half step, and that's what ends up beating it out.
I tell you, he has quickly shot up the ranks in terms of one of my favorite players to just watch play the game of baseball.
Line drive caught, or no, it wasn't. It snuck underneath Grauer's glove. And now first to third goes Lopez. The throw to second is high. Geloff tries to apply the tag. It's a double for Heriberto Hernandez. Little deke move on by Grauer there. It looked like he had the baseball, but as he made the move, it must have snuck past him.
I mean, he got me with it. I thought it was going to be a line out, which was unfortunate for Hernandez because he hit this ball well. But how about that little deke? I mean, it did make Lopez stop for a second.
Yeah, he thought he was done.
So third extra base hit of the game for Heriberto Hernandez, and now second and third with just one out. And it's Liam Hicks. Otto Lopez, the man standing at third, second straight game where he is a triple shy of the cycle. Infield in. Hicks 2 hits and an RBI. We'll spray that back foul. The Athletics 2 come up in the bottom of the ninth. Geloff, Butler, and Grauer. 3, 4, and 5. There's a strike, 1 and 2. Elvis Alvarado, a high-octane arm out of the Athletics bullpen. Player that, when he pitched in the Las Vegas series, looked very good, looked like he was primed to be the closer for the Athletics for the rest of the season. A few stumbles, and now he's trying to find finer form again.
Well, that's the big thing out of the bullpen, is just you're trying to even out the peaks and valleys. How consistent can you be? I think that creates a level of expectation not only for you, for your teammates, but the most important guy, I think, is the manager. He wants to be able to know more times than not what he's going to get when he dials up the phone. And I think Alvarado, even with his great stuff, has had just a little bit of a tough time doing that.
Blocked by Servant. Good block there.
That's 2 in a row.
Runners on second and third.
Servant has been unbelievable behind home plate today. Just keeping the ball in front and not giving up the extra 90. This is 2 straight. You got to have trust in your catcher to be able to do that, right? To say, oh, he's been blocking everything. I could go ahead and try to dirt this ball, and I know he's not going to let the ball get behind.
Yeah, if you don't have the confidence to bury it, then you start to hang them. And when you hang them, they bang them. And that is just a cold, hard fact.
So Alvarado at 15 pitches, second and third, 1 out, 8-5 Marlins lead. The infield is in. Wanting to keep it at this score line. 3 and 2 is fouled off. Gentlemen, this is a bit of a fact-finding mission for an Athletics organization that is faced with a lot of injuries, a lot of young players, maybe an opportunity for Mark Kotze and company to identify some of the supporting characters for the future of this A's team that will be in Las Vegas in 2028 with a brand new ballpark on the Strip. All of the excitement, dazzle there. This could be a good chance to see what the young guys can produce.
Well, I think it's something that teams always encounter, and you'd like for it to be a matter of production that forces the hand of opportunity. Unfortunately, I think for the Athletics this season, it's been out of necessity more so, where you've had some guys go down and you need to plug some guys in. You need to fill holes quickly. And so you're getting those looks, but maybe not quite in the ways you'd like to at times.
The next 3-2 from Alvarado. Foul back.
You talk about like next man up mentality.
Yeah.
But sometimes you start to go down that rabbit hole where it's like, okay, this is too many next man up mentality types.
You don't want that line to get too long.
Both these teams have had to dip into their depth in the minor leagues. Marlins have had a lot of success with their young guys coming up. Alvarado faced with another 3-2 pitch, and Hicks spoils it again.
That's five foul balls in this at bat.
Well, and Hicks just, I mean, you got yourself a 10-pitch at bat. Let's start there. And the fact that he just kind of flicked and fought off 100 miles an hour multiple times, like it's
I mean, this is firm to quite firm coming in.
3-2. Weekly tapped. Alvarado's going to have one play, bare hand throw to first. The Marlins get another run, 9-5. They manufacture more insurance. A 4-run lead for Miami once more.
That's just a fight. This is Liam Hicks fighting, understanding, put the ball in play. Good things are going to happen. It's almost like a little safety squeeze type swing. That's going to be an easy score for Lopez. Nice play over there, too, again, by Kurtz.
I think the A's fans here in West Sacramento like the shame point. This may forever be immortalized as the shame game.
They're not afraid to get vocal.
They are definitely not afraid to get vocal.
The Athletics and Marlins are in similar situations in their organizational development. Both teams on an upward track, it looks like. Young, exciting, going to be forces in their respective divisions for years to come. But I think the fan support is starting to increase as well for both teams.
I think what both teams are showing, too, is what the future is going to bring. Right, I feel like right now the Marlins are just a little bit more ahead of where the A's are, maybe because of just maybe the pitching style of it. But both these teams have very young, exciting players on the field. And I feel like, you know, when that new ballpark opens up in Las Vegas, you're going to see a team that now is cohesive together, who've been playing together. And boy, it's going to be a fun team to watch.
2 balls and 1 strike to Edwards. Off the plate, 3-1. Dallas, you got to see the Las Vegas fans during that homestand in all of its glory. What do you think of the fan support in Las Vegas in your early impressions?
Well, I think it was definitely a very pleasant surprise. You know, from lunch and dinner, walking to the ballpark, home from the ballpark, the energy around the ballpark was something that was very exciting to see. I think the work that the players did in the community, the opportunity that I had to go out and be a part of some of the community events, the reception was phenomenal. And I think it showed the excitement. And it's one thing, you know, I mean, look, the internet can be the internet. And I think once you got boots on the ground and you really started to see face to face and feel the energy of the fans who were anticipating not only the arrival of the team up into that time, but are anxiously awaiting the arrival of finality for big league baseball in their backyard. There's a lot of smile on people's faces, and I think that's something that you got to get excited about if you're a part of the franchise, and especially if you're a player, knowing what you have waiting for you in that brand new gym.
And speaking of boots on the ground, how is the progression of that gem of a stadium slated to be on the Las Vegas Strip in 2028?
Well, it looks different, I think, every time you're able to check in, whether it's in person or, you know, through the time lapse that you're able to watch and keep up with. Feels like they just continue to add and add and add. They've done a phenomenal job of not only, I think, staying on schedule at times. I think there's been reports of them being just ahead of schedule, but not to put the cart before the horse. It does. I think it just gets you all that much more excited about what's to come.
This is last month in Las Vegas. Look, a line out the door in Summerlin, Nevada. Brewers fans, A's fans. How about DJ Pauly D? And then Bruce Buffer announcing the starting lineup with a flyover as the cherry on top. Raleigh Fingers was the play ball man ahead of the game. And you know it's going to be done big in Las Vegas when the team finally arrives there with a level of permanence in 2028. Gabby Sanchez. When the Marlins come to town, Dallas Braden better take you to a nice dinner.
Yes, he should. I agree with that 100%.
Done and done.
I hear it's pretty hard to find a restaurant in Las Vegas. One hopper to third. Muncy loads up, throws to first, and that will retire the side. Well, the Marlins add another run and lead by 4, entering the bottom of the 9th inning on Star Spangled Sunday here on Peacock. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Scan the QR code or visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear. Now the Athletics have 3 outs left to play with. They're down 9-5 after the Marlins added another run to their total. So it's the 7th time in the last 10 contests here in West Sacramento where the opposition has scored 9 runs or more. And you've grown accustomed to a few rally caps, masks, hats, beanies maybe. Geloff expands his strike zone, quickly 0-2 as Pete Fairbanks is in the game.
Pete Fairbanks, 28th appearance for the right-hander. He's got 12 saves under his belt. I think at times he's found himself with some traffic on the base path, trying to keep the baseball in the yard.
Geloff will loop it into left to base hit. So a leadoff single. You wonder after the 5-run bottom of the 8th, do the A's still have life in the 9th? Geloff gets aboard.
Well, and it's a big breaking ball that I think Geloff, you just see the pop out of the hand. You're able to put the foot down and wait on it.
And I think that's exactly what it was. Not where he wanted to throw that slider. He probably wanted to bury it. It just stayed up and popped out of the hand. The fastball is working, though. 96, 97, especially with that kind of little herky-jerky coming from over the top.
Fairbanks signed with the Marlins in the offseason after a good amount of time with the other Florida team, the Tampa Bay Rays, who are enjoying a wonderful season. Led by Junior Caminero, who I believe turns 23 years old today.
Probably hit a homer on his birthday.
Like he's 11 homers in his last 11 games before today. Unreal. Butler takes high, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You would think you got to stick with that fastball, right?
Look, if you can expand up. He tried.
Butler broke up the perfect game with a leadoff walk in the 8th. The A's responded with 5 runs. And on deck broke up the no-hitter. 2-2, line drive, base hit into right field. That will kick off the wall. Geloff goes first to third. Second and third, nobody out against Fairbanks, and the A's are cooking again offensively in the 9th.
Again, me and you were just talking, Dallas, about, you know, sticking with that fastball. Again, goes right back to the slider. And it's going to be another hard-hit baseball.
And I think for Lawrence, what it also does, you're able to speed his bat up. Butler able to get around it. Now the A's second and third, nobody out with Kuroda Grauer at the dish.
He takes high, 1 ball and no strikes. Goes all the way to the backstop. Geloff is coming home. He will score. 6. Butler advances to third. And things are starting to get interesting again, gentlemen.
I mean, you look at what the Marlins are able to score, that extra insurance run right now playing dividends.
Well, it is. And, I mean, we've talked about Serven and the work he's been able to do behind the plate this afternoon. Here, unfortunately, Mac just couldn't get the glove down quite enough.
Yeah, couldn't get the glove there.
Catches a bit of the glove, but not enough of it.
2-0 swing on Kuroda Grauer. Now you're 3 runs away with 3 outs left to play in this game. You do have the 7th run waiting on third in Lawrence Butler. Kuroda Grauer has a hit in this game last inning. He'll spin it back. 2-2. Fairbanks, the 3rd reliever used by Clayton McCullough today. Swing and a miss. A 4-seamer up and in. Strikes out Kuroda Grauer. 1 is away.
I feel like this is the pitch that you're just going to have to utilize a whole bunch. Get that 4-seam fastball right from over the top. It's a pitch that he's been able to command here today, too. And it just seems like just laid on that fastball.
Cortez swings on the first pitch, fouls it away. The last time he came up, he had an RBI double to end the shutout bid for Miami. It's Muncy waiting on deck. A runner at third and 2 outs remaining in the game. That's called a strike on the outer edge. 0-2. Cortez is behind.
Again, 98 dotted. Fairbanks can move it around a little more. I think he'll probably like what he gets, but Cortez has been able to put some quality at bats together here as of late.
0-2 pitch. He pops it up on the infield. Edwards makes the catch, and the Marlins 1 out away from a victory and a series sweep. Max Muncy, the lifeline for the Athletics.
Max Muncy, I don't think he's met a fastball he hasn't liked. It's just about getting one he can drive.
He's greeted with a cutter up top. 0-1.
That's always fun when you're a hitter coming up going, okay, he's throwing that fastball, I'm going to be ready for it. And then all of a sudden you get a cutter and you're going, oh, come on.
Right, little wrinkle.
Too far in, 1 ball and 1 strike. The way this game started, I don't think Pete Fairbanks expected to be in a leverage situation in the 9th, but here we are. And he's 1 strike away from completing the sweep on the road against the Athletics. The 1-2 pitch. High. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two home. Fought off.
Yeah, fought off indeed. Muncy just trying to do whatever he can right now to hang in there.
Two and 2 for Fairbanks. Muncy takes high, now 3-2. If he walks Muncy, the tying run would come to the plate in Jonah Heim, who had a grand slam last inning and has loved tying baseball games in the ninth here at home. 3-2 payoff. It is called the ball, an ABS challenge by Joe Mack. Everyone on their feet, anxiously awaiting the result. It is outside. The game continues. And the A's still have life as Heim comes up to the plate.
Well, the clock is ticking. And the A's just hope it reaches Heim time once again. It was Heim time earlier. With a hanging split, they got hung out to dry.
Fairbanks against Heim. Butler at third, Muncy at first. First pitch is called to strike. Now Heim is going to use an ABS challenge. It is a strike.
The Athletics have one challenge remaining.
Doing everything he can to get ahead in the count here against a tough foe in Fairbanks. Muncy taking a colossal lead off of first. He'll take second. In the dirt, blocked by Mack. Now second and third with 2 outs.
That's a good job by Joe Mack of keeping that ball in front. Not an easy ball to block either. That's a changeup at 94. Jealous.
Ground ball up the middle, a base hit. That's going to score 2. It's a 1-run game, 9-8. No quit in this Athletics offense, Dallas Braden. You've seen it so many times this year, and it happens again, but there's still work to do.
I mean, the clutch gene is strong in Jonah Heim. Twice in today's ball game, he's come up in massive spots for the A's and has delivered. That is now a 6 RBI day for Jonah Heim. He has just been fantastic in big moments all season long. And with the backstop being lifted, it'll be Colby Thomas, fresh pair of legs over there at first base for the Athletics. And I tell you, should Servin be able to find a gap here, Colby Thomas, he can run a while.
Fairbanks against Servin. First pitch is a strike. Brian Servin did have 7 home runs in AAA this year. Jonah Heim, a new career high with 6 RBIs, and that has happened over the last 2 innings of offense. Oh, and 2. Servin will not challenge. 1 strike away is Fairbanks. Thomas at first, and the 0-2 pitch. Grounded softly to the second baseman. Edwards moves over on the run, throws to first, and Miami wins 9-8, completing the sweep over the Athletics in West Sacramento. It wasn't pretty in the end for Fairbanks, but he gets the job done, and the Marlins head home happy as the Athletics, despite a nice comeback, cannot cross the finish line in the final game of this homestand.
Oh boy, the Marlins are able to collect their 6th sweep, but boy, that got a little interesting there at the end, and it goes to show too that insurance run in the top of the 9th played huge dividends in this win for the Marlins.
It sure did. I think the fans at home and here in the ballpark were treated to a magnificent pitching performance by Yuri Perez that would all but be erased by the back end of that Marlins bullpen, who ultimately did a good job of keeping the Athletics offense at bay, but a late surge for the offense, if you're looking for silver lining, is something that you might be able to take home in terms of positives. But the unfortunate part is it is 3 games in a row where I think the Athletics fan base, the A's players, folks watching at home got a real good idea of just how tough of a club this Miami Marlins club is, because when you combine what you saw on the mound from Sandy yesterday, Yuri today, you know you got some big arms down there in the back end of that bullpen. This lineup for the Marlins has been nothing short of outstanding. Balls in play. We've seen power. It's really a team that has shown a total package.
Yeah, I mean, you all of a sudden started to see the power coming out of those Marlins bats. And consistently through. It wasn't just one game. It was 3 games in a row, just powering the baseball out, giving great at-bats, making pitchers work. That's one of the things that this Marlin team has done. They did it here again today. They were able to put up enough, but this A's team, boy, they don't give up. They keep coming back. They keep coming at you. It doesn't matter what that scoreboard says. You know that the offense is there. Is that pitching staff going to be able to kind of keep the game intact for you to be able to come back and win?
Yeah, unfortunately, just not quite enough offense today. But to your point, I think you do have some exciting pieces, and we understand that this Athletics club is absolutely going to be tested in terms of depth, just not quite deep enough against a Marlins club who continues to play the best brand of baseball here since the beginning of June, which has been very, very impressive, especially when you consider the division that they're in, the 2 teams that sit atop of that division, and the Braves and the Phillies. There's no reason, I think, from what I've seen and what we've seen over a stretch here, that the Marlins can't insert themselves in that conversation. I think that's what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing, too, if you're a Marlins teammate, if you're a fan, you got to go out and watch these guys, because it's a fun bunch to go out and root for.
Gentlemen, there's so many different impact players this game for the Marlins, but how about the backstop? Brian Navarreto joins us here. What a performance by you, a pair of hits. You cut down a runner late into the game and a 1-run victory. Did you expect that today after the start from Yuri Perez here in the series finale?
I mean, yeah, I did. I mean, he's such a great pitcher. I mean, but on the bullpen, you can see it on the bullpen, his focus, he maintained his focus. What he worked today, it was awesome. I mean, he attacked hitters today and put them away. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, I don't, like I say, I don't feel bad about it. I mean, he's always good, and I know what he can do here.
Not only what you were able to do in the backstop, though, all of a sudden you go up there, you're swinging the bat, you get yourself a couple hits. How did it feel getting that first hit this year?
I mean, it feel amazing, man. It feel amazing after this many years and be back again and help the team win. That's my main goal, trying to help the team as much as I can. And I mean, it feels, like I say, it feels awesome. I mean, just go there and show that I can hit as well, and also help the team catching behind the plate. I mean, it's an amazing feeling.
Navi, you had a complete game today, my man. You were outstanding back there, not only swinging the bat, but the runner that you throw out later in the ballgame, Bolte, who's one of the quickest there. But to your point about this young group and you being able to contribute, you have very much contributed in the early go here. It's got to be exciting to know just how young, but how great this baseball team has come together.
Oh, I mean, the energy, how we go about business, and how we are in the clubhouse. I feel like the chemistry of this team is amazing. We just got to keep it going and having fun. I feel like this team, you can see, I mean, we have fun. We also execute, and I mean, doesn't matter who you are coming from the bench, you start that day. I mean, we always ready, and that's the beautiful thing about this team.
Brian Navarreto, we love your story. Congratulations on a great performance, and best of luck the rest of the way for these Miami Marlins. Well, folks, stay tuned. We have a few more after this when we return. For our inaugural Star Spangled Sunday on Peacock. Flip over to Sunday Night Baseball on NBC or Peacock as the Padres take on the Dodgers in our primetime matchup. For Gabby Sanchez and Dallas Braden, our wonderful producer Delaire Lewis, our director Mike Bird, our wonderful Peacock crew, I'm Chris Carey as the Marlins defeat the Athletics 9-8. Have a great evening, everyone.